Okay. Well, it was there a moment ago. I just didn't know if we were going live now.
Oh, fun. Uh-huh. Oh, no.
Oops.
Holy fuck.
I can.
Yeah,
Well, we
we
can.
can hear ya. I don't know if they hear us either.
Okay, this side can't hear anyone talking.
Can they hear anyone? Or it doesn't say, it just says like they can't hear Diane.
Oh my, oh
Diana.
my. Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the Yeti.
Oh, they said they can hear me and Purple just
Wait,
fine.
what about
But
Okay.
me?
can't hear
Can you hear
me. That's
my butt?
that's new. I've never had that happen.
What
Hey,
what
what about
about
me?
Kate and Tornado? Are you
Oh
guys
my.
hearing them?
Okay,
Yep.
I don't know if this is any better. Oh my,
Okay,
oh my,
can
oh
you
my.
guys hear
It
Kate
sounds like
and
they can't
Tornado?
hear me, and I
Can
can't
you hear
imagine
the
why not.
dark-haired lady in the camera?
Okay, so now Dave can hear me.
Okay, they can hear
Oh,
everyone
Doc can
now.
hear everyone now. Okay, so now I know that I have to do the old adjustments that I used to do. Okay, I'm gonna bring.
Okay.
There we go. And oh my! Now that we've got that figured out, let's see. I just changed screens, and we have with us, yay, 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 the
They just
one,
said you weren't talking, Kate.
the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr Bionic Dance. Hi, how are ya?
Oh, I have definitely been worse than I am right now.
Okay, then, and of course we have Mom NATO here.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are you? Good morning.
And,
Well, good afternoon, actually. Hi, I'd be waving if you could see me.
okay, and of course, Mom NATO is here. So of course, Tornado is here. Hi, dear. How you doing, honey?
Yes, my
Well, I
precious.
just woke up, but somehow I still managed to screw things up by plugging something into the wrong port.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about what you mean.
And we have a
And by that I
special.
mean I plugged the actual headphones thingy, my headset, into the
Yeah, I said I
speaker,
didn't
where it would
want to
be
know.
basically useless.
And we have a special person with us. We have Purple Rhymes with Orange. Hi, dear. How are
Hey,
ya?
Purple.
Hello. Yeah, I've been
How's
pretty
it
busy
going?
lately, but wanted to check in with people.
Yeah, and
How's the fundraising going?
It's pretty much sold out at this point.
you're
I
Is
where at
that
about
good or bad?
900?
Yeah. Although we're close to 1,000. It's like 980. So,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
really
Well,
pretty
that's
good. That
good.
people have been pretty generous with it, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
figuring
I
the
would.
total cost is going to be around 2,500, so we're still less than
Um,
halfway.
Okay,
are
just
you
so you don't run out
going?
of gas in Illinois or anything like that, you know?
Okay, well, he's going from Michigan to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, we're
Or
driving
the other
right across
direction.
the top of Wisconsin.
Okay, so the question I have is that's just like what, one or two states?
Yeah, it's about 350 miles total.
Okay, are you taking a moving van?
Yeah.
You're driving the moving van and towing a truck?
No, not towing anything. It's just we're gonna have to get one of the really big moving vans.
Okay,
And
who are
put
you
the
going
truck
through?
in it, or put the vehicle in it.
Have you considered
No,
U-Haul?
no, yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I'm gonna be getting one of the big U-Hauls.
You're going to drive the
And
truck, and Sloth
yeah, and
Girl's going to
Sloth
drive the
Girl's gonna
car,
be
right?
drive my car with the
Yeah,
cats in it.
okay.
Okay, I can tell you, um, I don't know how big a house you have, but I
It's
moved I moved a 3 bedroom, 2 bath single wide trailer in a 20-foot moving van. Okay, from U-Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well,
they're moving
yeah,
two
I've had to do
units.
this before about, you know,
Right,
after my fiance died about 4 years ago, I had to
right.
load up all my stuff and drive from New York to Michigan.
And you said it's 300 and some odd miles?
Yeah, about 350.
Okay, I can tell you that doing a 20-foot moving van, I only spent 400 in gas
Yeah.
coming from, and I moved 1,600 miles.
Well, I'm
Okay,
guessing some of the expenses are more than just gasoline.
right, but with a U-Haul, you can do, depending upon the size of the truck, it's a 40-gallon tank, and that 40 gallons will get you about 400 miles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
okay, yeah.
yeah, you're pretty much in line with the estimates I had, but I
Right.
need to cover things like the damage deposits and utility hookups and a bunch of bullshit like that.
Right.
Now,
Yeah,
where are you
that's
moving
the-
to?
Yeah, but
St. Cloud, Minnesota.
yeah, and I understand that. I'm just saying that the move itself, the moving van, generally it's dependent upon how long you think you're going to have the moving van. I pay for like 5 days, and it cost me about $1,100 just for the moving van.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Well,
So
that's the
I'm
thing
just
because I need the time to load it, a day to drive it, and the time to unload it. And
right,
unfortunately, I'm probably gonna either I'm gonna have to do it myself or I'm going to have to pay for help to help me load and unload
right.
because I
See, I
don't
have
really have
help
anyone
loading.
available who can help me carry anything.
Yeah, I had
And
help
yeah,
loading.
Sloth Girl has MS, which affects her legs, so she can't really
Right.
carry anything heavy.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is where I wish I had a vehicle I could get out there and give you a hand, but
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm too far away.
yeah,
Yeah.
Florida to Michigan, yeah, or, what the
Yeah,
hell,
Well,
man.
and even
I'm not sure I've ever even been to Michigan. I might have been over Michigan, but I've never been to it.
even
You
Amiga
haven't missed
Nuts had,
anything.
yeah, Amiga Nuts had volunteered to come and help me unload because he said he was in Minnesota, but turns out where he is still like a 3-hour drive from St. Cloud, so
Oh,
Well,
what the
not
hell?
really
that's
able for him
Okay.
to come
still
and help for the day.
well, that still might be worth to have him come help.
Well,
I
I'll talk to
mean,
him about it on Twitter, but expecting somebody to drive 3 hours each way to help me unload the truck
well,
seems
you
to
know
be
what you
asking a
do?
lot.
You know what you do is you put him up overnight if you
I
can,
was going to say that, yes.
and then you provide him with lunch or dinner and
Yeah,
breakfast, or
yeah,
meals and breakfast before he leaves, because having someone even if it's not in person, but from online in a
yeah,
new place is one of the best things
Yes,
because
it
you feel so
is.
lonely
Mm-hmm.
when you first move in, and you know it's worth it.
And then you can
yeah,
get a sleeping bag for $20 at Squall Mart. I mean, have
Or,
one of you can sleep on that or some shit like that. Because I was gonna get one. I had a one of those rolled up mattresses that you get at IKEA for $100, but it was showing its use, and
yeah,
just in case Cassia would stay over some night, as she is wont to do from time to time. I would want a place to, lay down and sleep, and she can have the bed. But
mhm.
getting rid of that mattress, it's like, okay, what am I going to sleep on? Let me look at sleeping bags. And yeah, I mean, 20, $30 at Walmart, it's not a bad thing.
yeah. Well, Diane, I've got that foam bedroll that I brought with me. When
Oh,
I
that's
came over to
right. That's right.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
so
So
I can do the same kind of thing. I can give somebody my bed, and I've still got something else I can sleep on.
right.
Well, I don't really have too much in the way of extra cash. I'd love to donate. So what I'm going to do
I
is I'm going
would.
to send you thoughts and prayers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. All right.
Oh, that
Well,
reminds me.
even that's appreciated. Sending the link out on Twitter or something would be even more useful.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going.
Though,
Did you put the
even though
link
you
in
guys
the.
are atheists, thoughts and prayers tomorrow for my mom and her husband would be good because he is having a stent put into his heart tomorrow.
Oh,
Fun.
And then,
okay.
and,
Yeah,
and,
that
and
sounds
then
scary.
3 weeks later, they are replacing a valve if he's healthy enough in his heart. He is
Oh,
suffering
Lord.
from right now. He is going through congestive heart failure.
Not fun.
Right. He has been in and out of the hospital. One day they had him on what's they call it Lasix. It's to try and lower the blood or the water in his system.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
spent all day on it, went home, came back the next day and had gained 8 pounds in just water weight.
Well, I had LASIK done. Kidding.
No.
No, it's something a little bit different there, yeah.
So bad.
Okay, so Purple, you got it. Yeah, I wasn't able to pick up the link because it adds that other garbage, that redirect garbage. So I'd have to resolve that first. But at least
Yeah.
Purple, you've got that on there. The GoFundMe, there's the PayPal on. One's atop Robert X and the other one's below Robert X. And God, that sounds bad.
Yeah, I wish I could afford to donate, but I don't have the cash. Unfortunately, I wish I could.
Well, do you have a printing press in the basement?
No, I
Oh.
don't even have a basement. I'm on a concrete slab, thank you, sweetheart.
Well, yeah, you really almost cannot have a basement where you are, can you?
Nope, not here.
I've never lived in a place with a basement. Lots of my friends had those basement rec rooms. I never did.
I
No.
really I really need a basement because the storage, in a place like this, where do you put anything? The footprint of this apartment is approximately 16 by 32.
16 feet by 32 is the whole apartment?
Yeah,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
it's a Section 8 unit.
I
And-
know, I look at my bedroom as 14 feet by 12 feet.
Okay, then.
That's the master bedroom, and my kitchen's almost double that.
Yeah, this
So, yeah.
where I'm sitting right now is what they call the living room. It's 16 by 9.
Oh, I could not.
I'm
do
sorry,
that.
not 16. 16 by 11.
I couldn't. Well, that's the size of my bedroom, I guess. Yeah. Still.
Wait.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So-
So your living room has a 16 by 9 aspect ratio?
16 by
Yep.
11.
Yeah, my bedroom has the 16 by 9 aspect ratio.
So if your subterranean bit of your domicile is really, really small, is it more of a fortment?
Yeah, there
No.
you go. There you
No,
go.
it's still a basement.
I'll just be over here.
Yeah, it's no. I've got about what I did the arithmetic. What is it? About 512 square feet in here.
Yeah.
And
All your basement or belong to us. Anyway, I'll just.
the
Yeah, I got
the
that
the
one.
Section 8 people are all about this overhousing thing.
Yeah.
If you have enough space to live, you are overhoused.
Goodness.
I like to
That's
call these
terrible.
places kennels because they're basically one of those wire kennels that you put your medium-sized dog in, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the place I'm moving into isn't going to be too much bigger than that. So
Oh, right.
I'm also going to have to probably rent some storage space just so I have room for my tools, which I require just to make a living.
yeah, I wish I could afford some storage space. I really do, because, well, not anymore as much because I had to stifle the tears and throw a lot of stuff away. Really didn't want to, but there was just no room to exist. And they get weird when they do their little inspections and there's no room to walk.
They do inspections?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
If
Fed,
you're in public housing, that do regular inspections.
the Feds,
Holy police state, Batman.
sure thing. The Feds do the inspection, and the landlord does his own inspection.
Oh, God, I couldn't live like that.
Now,
Yeah.
of course, they're saying that if you have enough space to live, you're overhoused, and they don't want you to have enough space to live.
Right.
Yeah, basically, if you got much more than enough room for a cot, they think that you're being extravagant.
Yeah.
Really, that's
Well, that's
ridiculous.
bullshit.
Well, hang on. The whole
Oh,
thing
the way
is
it works.
the whole thing is summed up with what the male slimy bastard told me at one point. You're poor. You're not supposed to have anything.
Yeah,
Ah,
you know, it's the
what an asshole.
pose it's a little off, I think. Just because, you know, it's that whole, oh, it's your place to be poor. It's your place to want all the time. I mean, how
That's
fucked up is that?
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's that whole alt right playbook stuff going on, and yeah,
Yeah, and anything that might give you a little bit of an advantage, enough
Comfort
so that you might be able to improve your situation, will
is
usually
considered.
disqualify you from any help you're getting.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Dude, me. If I had been making any more a month, I probably still would not have had that brain surgery.
Oh my goodness.
Right, because you would have been tossed off Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, I don't even qualify for Medicaid.
Well, you live in Florida. Kate lives in California. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
California is pretty lenient when it comes to that sort of thing.
Well,
Although-
even in Missouri, I didn't cover.
Absolute bitch. You have no idea. Because if your income is from a non-traditional source, like say Patreon, their form doesn't really have a space for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know, so you try to tell them, no, I am making my money in a not 9 to 5 burger flipping job. And they're like, well, we need this, that, and the other thing signed. And I'm like, yes, but I can't get that to you because it doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Like
Yeah.
I can't give them my income tax form from my job because my
Right.
job is but of course
But you-
gifts and donations are part of what they want to know about for your income.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you have to jump through so many hoops if you don't work in an office or a McDonald's.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in the same situation, Kate, because I've been self-employed. I do, just general handyman work, home repairs,
Mhm.
and it's like they don't understand the idea that my income is not consistent one month to the next.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, the only reason that I'm not required to work is because I look after Tornado,
Okay.
and I can't exactly leave him alone all day.
Yeah.
It's not.
Uh-huh.
Not.
It just won't work. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you'll
Won't
excuse the expression tornado, it's like leaving a puppy alone.
Sorta.
Kinda.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's better than he was, and he's getting there. He's getting there. He can almost take care of himself for a few hours. He does a good job. I mean, he's as long as he's in the house and has constant contact with somebody, where he can, if he's over at my mom's house sitting for her, about 2 hours into his house sitting, he's like, bring, hi mom, what you doing? Do you know when grandma's gonna be home? I want to come home.
Yeah,
And
because
so I
home
spend
is
about
that.
20 or 30 minutes talking to him, and then he's like, okay, I'll see you later, mom, I love you. Right, Tornado?
Pretty much, yeah.
Actually, my nephew is much the same way.
And
Able to
that's
talk to people.
right, but that's also, and he doesn't
Internet
have,
is for.
well, over at his grandma's house, he doesn't have a headset that he can use. So
A headset.
for talking, like if he's over
Oh.
there during
So
like
like a
one of the
gaming
YouTube
headset then.
events and stuff, yeah. So if he does go over and house sit for her tomorrow, it might be me instead. I might let him take my big headset, and I'll just use my earbuds.
Mm.
Okay, now this is what I don't understand here. The earbuds grow on the ends of the head branches. Is that it?
Yes.
And okay,
Yes.
okay. I'm
They also
trying,
have a
Kate. I really
microphone.
am. And
They also have a microphone that dangles down on a little stick.
Dangles.
there you go. There you go.
I don't know why that struck my head meats as being
Stick and
filthy.
berries.
Just, you know,
The stem and berries, yes.
Oh, scheisse. I
I'm
don't
in
know.
a weird mood today, yeah. Mm.
mm.
Yeah, I think more than one of us is. Yeah, I was up
Yeah.
almost all night.
Oh, good Lord, why?
Because, well, okay, I rebuilt
Well, rebuild your system.
my thing,
Right.
and then
Right.
when I got it rebuilt and it looked like it was working, I broke it
Again.
again.
Oh,
It was
Diana.
something. It was something I did. All my fault.
Right.
I ended up with the home directory, completely erased it.
I know, you said that.
All the
Wow.
configuration files were there and everything, and the thing just wouldn't work at all. I had to reinstall.
that just reminds me of something my mother would do.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I don't know.
Computer
Oh
illiterate.
no, she has done that before where she has gotten rid of her. I don't know how she did it because she knows nothing about computers, but she managed to erase her home directory.
Okay,
And
then.
then she managed, while she was trying to fix that, she managed to delete her boot directory.
Oops.
Yeah, so I had to go through and reformat her hard drive and then reinstall Windows and then all of her drivers. And then after I got all of her drivers reinstalled, I had to do all of the updates. And then after all of the updates were done, I had to sit there and go through her system and update the actual hardware.
Yay. All kinds
So
of fun.
I basically had to rebuild her entire computer from scratch.
Oh, my.
It took me almost 48 hours of steady, constant work.
Well,
Thankfully, I had the computer at my house, so I was able to hook it up to the network and just send stuff from my computer to her computer, because at that time we used the same operating system. So that made it a little easier. Oh,
yeah, I hope I can get by until mid-year with what I've done so far. I mean, I ended up with my boot screen backwards, but I can deal with that. That's no big deal.
How'd you backwards your boot screen?
Well, what happened was I installed the system to the second partition and then to the first partition. That got everything in the order I wanted it. But then I broke the second partition. So I had to reinstall that and put that at the beginning of the list. And I tried to reorder the list and that broke. So I said, screw this. I'm just going to live with what I've got. Because I'm hoping that I can do some hardware upgrade mid-year. And I'll just worry about the rest of it then. And, who cares?
yeah, well,
I tried to do a hardware upgrade, but I realized that I'm just not ready to operate a circular saw.
Okay, then.
Sorry, I'll just.
You'll be over there.
Well, I'm currently operating a Boeing 747 in Simple Planes.
Ooh.
One thing I do miss.
Ouch, cat, ouch, boobs, ouch, get off.
Now,
Ow.
Kate knows the feeling. Oh, yeah.
I do. My cat has
No, I just did.
unerring nipple and clit aim. Like if I'm on
Oh,
bed,
claws.
Jean has
Ow.
decided that she wants to be on the other side of me, she will quickly step directly on a nipple
Oh, yes.
and use it as a springboard to get to the other side of me.
Oh.
Yeah, and also Columbia does not have, like most cats that I've ever known, know when to retract their claws. Columbia's are always out.
No,
Honestly, if
Smidge
it wasn't
is...
super, super cruel, I might have declawed her a long time ago, but it is super cruel and I never
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, Smudge is usually really good about his claws, but he went from the back of my chair across my chest, around to the other side of my chest, and then up to the back of the chair again. And of course, boobs are soft, so of course he digs in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of chest to go across in your
There's a
case.
lot of
So
chest
yeah,
to go
it's
across.
unlikely
Yeah,
that Smudge is going to miss.
Huh? What was that, Kate?
I said I don't even want to hear it. Speaking from the contingent that's so flat the walls are jealous.
Oh
I don't-
please.
Hey, Kate.
Oh,
I have
no,
always said,
I could use you upstairs. I'm sorry.
hey, if I could donate to somebody, I fucking would.
I mean, okay, granted, there is such a thing as too much. Like I would not want to get to the point where exercise was painful.
I am at that stage, unfortunately, and I was gifted that naturally.
Yeah. I like
Mm.
like there's that poor little girl who starts doing like ballet and or gymnastics, and then she hits puberty, and the next thing you know, she's a Valkyrie with like a D cup.
Um,
And you cannot do gymnastics or ballet when you're that
Okay.
big.
try adding about 5 more cup sizes.
Still, my point being that's
Yeah.
a plight I've heard about from kids who wanted
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen
There's such a thing as full-figured ballet.
yeah I've seen and
Go. Enough.
I guess it's an okay. I'm gonna get myself into trouble here, but I mean Dawkins can get himself into trouble, so I can as well. I mean, it seems to be an ethnic thing. My the male slimy bastard had a store in an economically disadvantaged neighborhood of Cleveland, which meant that it was majority black, and you saw
Right.
many much 8-year-old black girls with double D going on over here, and those poor girls, god damn.
Well, I'm a quarter
Yep.
Italian, and I'm also quarter Dutch German descent. So I've got that short, stocky build from the German side, and then I've got the ample bust from the Italian side.
Yeah, like okay, I'm about 30% Italian and 33% Ashkenazi Jewish, which is why I had a nose job. I'm just saying, Roman nose plus Jewish nose equals horrific, terrifying snout.
I don't
Opus.
see anything bad with
Yeah.
your nose.
Well, not now, you don't.
Yeah. No, see, I
Oh,
have this
Diana,
short little pug nose, so
Yeah, Kate,
that curls up at the tip.
I will say that having seen some of Kate's back catalog, she had a little bit of a nose going on back then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about my let's put it this way. I got so much shit on YouTube about my looks that I used an avatar for like 3 years. Granted, it was fun to animate that avatar my own darn self, but even so, it was like, until I got the face done, I did not want to appear on camera. Not anymore.
Yeah, well, people can be especially harsh with women about their looks.
Oh yeah.
Damn
Well,
right they can.
I went through puberty at 12, and I came
Took you
back-
that long?
Well, no, I started puberty in like January of my 12th year, and then by my birthday I was done.
Wow.
And I went
Yeah.
from it wasn't, that's just an example. We went to my grandma's during our summer between 12 and 13. And so I went there flat as a board. I came back wearing my grandma's bras. I didn't go through training bras. I went from flat chested to a 38 double D in 3 months.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Want to
How
talk
did you pull
painful?
that off as a magic trick? How you pulled that off as a magic trick?
If I had a magic wand and could reverse it, I would, and I'd stop at like a 36B.
I mean,
That would be pleasant.
it took even
All
me longer to go through puberty. I mean, well, I think the entire world knows. I started puberty maybe about 8 years old or something like this. I was done by 14.
Right.
I mean, I had my adult dimensions at the age of late 13, early 14, and that was interesting.
All
To
I
give you
really remember about puberty was the occasional zit. Thankfully, I was never a pizza face. But also, all of a
Hey,
sudden,
down, will ya?
all of a sudden the sweat starts to stink, and I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? I didn't consent to this. But
Right.
and I still to this day, despite asking people, do not know why adult sweat starts to smell but kid sweat doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna take some guesses here.
Oil glands.
The whole smell, the whole stink of the sweat thing is that there are fatty acids in the sweat, and bacteria on the skin turn those fatty acids rancid. What I'm wondering is, do the kids not have those fatty acids in the? Well, actually, it's triglycerides in the sweat, and they turn those. So, do the kids not have the triglycerides in the sweat? That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, I mean, part of me often wondered if it was actually like meant to transmit pheromones or something.
Oh well, that too. Yeah, that
Well,
absolutely.
that's why I
And,
was
yeah,
assuming
see,
that it was
The
sexual
thing is,
pheromones.
what you've got to understand is I have a twin sister who, at that time, she stopped at the perfect 36B.
Identical or not? I'm guessing not.
Fraternal. No, we're fraternal.
Yeah.
But, she was 5'6", 135 pounds, soaking fucking wet, and a 36B. Me, I was 5'3", 165 pounds, and a 38 double D.
Yeah, no, see, my puberty went
I hated
completely
it.
the opposite route. That's like, it seemed to start out normally when I was a teenager,
hmm
and it like stalled halfway through and then didn't finish until I was in my early 30s.
Oh,
good
wow.
God. That's weird.
That is. I wonder how
Yeah.
the hell that works.
Because it's like all the sexual aspects in that developed when I was like, 13,
hmm
but then I didn't start growing a beard until I was 32.
Well, Tornado has this little scruff on his chin at 23, and the barest mention of a mustache, and that's all he's got. He doesn't have anything along the other parts of his chin, just the tip of his chin.
I remember all those like just hitting puberty boys who had that wispy little mustache.
Yes, that's what he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks creepy.
Well, and that's the stage I was stuck at.
It makes a guy look like he's got something that he
Growing?
wants to do that will not please the public.
Yeah, and that's the stage I was stuck at for close to 20 years.
So does
Jesus
that mean my
Christ.
son's puberty has stalled?
It may be.
And
I
know
never heard of
Tornado's
anything like that
really
happening
quiet.
before. That's really interesting.
Well, and again, as I've, talked to other people who were not diagnosed with Asperger's,
Mhm.
it seems there's some correlation there.
oh,
It might
I don't
be.
know if anyone professionally has studied it or written about it, but
Hmm.
I've found a number of other people that seem to have that same thing, that it stalled for 10 years or more and then picked up again.
Huh.
and she
That's
said,
weird.
and here I could grow a full beard at 13. It's like, God.
Hmm. Interesting.
Why would you want to?
I know. I mean, especially with the state I'm in now. I mean, well, when I went to uni the first time around, I grew a beard, and the mustache stayed until I finally transitioned. The beard itself stayed for years and years and years and years. My ex wouldn't have it any other way. She was really pissed at me when I shaved it off. But
I
it's
remember being terrified. I mean, absolutely terrified when my dad shaved his beard. and didn't tell me he was going to do it. And so I walked into the house. I couldn't have been more than like 11, if that. And I saw someone that could have been my dad, except didn't look like my dad. And I didn't know what the frig was going on. And I just sort of stopped and got this look of terror on my face. And my parents like, no, 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 it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Diana, I appreciate you having me in here. I've got somebody's going to be picking me up in less than 10 minutes, so I've got to finish getting dressed and get out of here.
Oh my, oh
Okay,
my!
well, we'll
Just,
see you later, Orange.
just tell them, do it with the knees, not with the back. You don't want them throwing their
Yeah.
back out.
Yeah, that would be bad because then you'd fall down and go boom and hurt.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Like that, would
Okay.
out.
Thanks for coming on, honey. You be good.
One thing, Mom NATO, I don't know why you're the only person that calls me orange. Everyone else calls me purple.
Well, because I see orange purple on your.
Oh, okay.
You're,
Yeah, that's because I'm screwing with YouTube and not giving them my real name.
Okay. Well, normally I do call
But-
you purple, but
Yeah.
today I am just.
Yeah,
It's been
that's
a
because
day.
it turned out that going into the Google Hangouts, it was actually showing my real name.
Oops.
Hmm.
So I had to go into my Google account and edit that. So
Yeah, I do it every week on my on the Zoom for movie night. I have to change my name. So yeah.
okay, all right. Well, we'll catch you all later.
Have fun.
Okay.
Bye,
Take care, honey.
No.
Be good.
Yeah,
So then-
I'll be back online and be back to normal routine in a couple of days here.
Okay, well we'll see you again, Purple.
Oh,
Okay.
and by the way, I'm currently gliding a 747
We don't need
across
to
the
know.
We're yeah. Show us pictures later. Oh,
So there was this article that was going around Facebook for a little while. There was like this Muslim dude. I don't know if he was an imam or whatever the frig, but he was saying men should have beards because young men who don't have beards look like women and might inspire gay thoughts in
Oh.
other men.
Lord.
Fuck him!
I mean, how fucked up is that? Like, these people are so afraid of potentially learning about their own sexuality that they will protect themselves from even the possibility of realizing that they might just be a little bit LGBT. It's crazy pants. But there was this other guy, like political leader, I forget his name, where someone like an American, I think it was an American, someone could have been, I don't know, like British or something, asked him, so how do you people deal with like homosexuals? And he goes, we don't have homosexuals here like you do.
Yeah.
Oh bullshit!
I know, but
They
he
just
really
don't
is
say
such-
they're homosexuals.
I don't even know if he believes it himself, but he said it.
Well, he probably does because they're so repressed they can't dare believe that anybody would be outside what they consider their norm, so they have to deny it. And
Well, Victoria, for all intents and purposes, did not know that lesbians existed.
who?
Victoria?
Victoria of England.
Oh, the Queen.
Queen, yeah.
Well, that's again, it's they don't say anything about it, so they don't tell people, so people don't learn about it, and those who have learn about it because of their own sexuality, and they think there's something wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there
So-
may be something wrong with them, but it's not the homosexuality.
Right, there you go.
They're taught that homosexuality is wrong, so they think there's something deviant about them that's wrong, so of course they punish themselves according to their religion.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And that's one
Oh,
of the reasons
Lord.
why, I am so glad that I am just so, I don't give a care about what people think or feel or want to have sex with. That's their opinion. That's their personal private life, and I don't get involved in it.
And that's another thing actually that kind of bugs me a smidge is every time someone who objects in any way to homosexuality focuses on how people have sex.
Yeah.
Love comes into the picture. It's never who you fall in love with. It's always who you fuck. And I'm like, I've started correcting people. I've started insisting, like, if I ever talk about homosexuality and people's objection to it, I'm like, why do you have a problem with who someone falls in love with? Not who someone sleeps with, not who someone fucks, who they fall in love with. Because
Yes.
honestly, that conversation needs to be changed.
I mean, it is the case that, believe it, straight men actually have sex with other men. It's called facultative homosexuality. Where okay, if in prison, if all you have available is other guys, and you need,
That's what you do.
yeah, there you go. So, it's the whole thing is not all about who you fuck. No, and people don't understand me, and I'm not the only one. I am attracted primarily to women. It doesn't
Right.
matter what their hardware is.
Right.
I mean,
It matters to me. I have to say, it matters to me a great deal.
Now, see,
well, that's what you are.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I weird to say that I don't care if you fall in love with a girl or a guy? It's not my
No.
business.
And
If that's
Right,
who you
yeah.
love, that's who you love. And I have no right to object.
And the way I view it is, oh, you like women? Oh, you're a girl who likes girls? Okay, more power to you.
Well, I'm just creeped right the hell out by penises. They are hideously
Some of
ugly.
them are pretty gross.
Well, they're not the prettiest things on earth, no. But
Uncircumcised are the worst.
the how do I want to put it? It's the way the personality is set up. I find major difference between a masculine personality and a feminine personality.
Well, I have seen some absolutely gorgeous girls who, I don't mind looking at, but I get to know them and their personality is absolutely for shit. They know they're pretty. They know they're gorgeous, and they don't care about you because you're not a pretty person. You're an ugly person, so you don't deserve their time.
They sound like the fuel for the incel crowd.
Incel
that-
crowd.
Oh, the involuntarily celibate.
Crowd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bitter because they can't get laid.
I actually didn't know much about it, like the incel crowd, except that they're like, spoiled little pricks.
Mhm.
But I was reading an article from someone who used to be in the incel crowd and was talking about getting out of it and the mindset behind it. And one of the things he talked about was that just about every incel doesn't see women who aren't a perfect 10. That to them, they think that they should be with a perfect 10. And so like even from 8 to 5 is invisible to them.
Wow.
And that's part of why they are involuntarily celibate, is because they're holding out for the supermodel.
And they're never going to get it.
Right.
I'm sorry, but most
their own worst enemies, but because a lot of their interactions, especially online, is only with other incels, it all just feeds back into it.
sort of like the
Where
alt right.
they are like they have that echo chamber, that bubble that they can't get out of.
Yeah, I mean, no. Most supermodels I've known, I wouldn't give the time of day. Sorry.
Right.
But I mean, the reason I bring it up is because what Mom NATO just said,
Mhm.
where it's like you got the perfectly pretty girl and knows she's so hot and all that shit.
Mhm.
Probably that is not helping the incel crowd.
Well, and I am never going to be a perfect 10.
Oh, neither will I.
And I don't want to be a perfect 10. I'm happy being me. And if I don't match anybody's expectations because I'm short and I'm the dumpy Romanesque, hey, fine. They don't need to see my tatas and my twat. Thank you.
No, of course it doesn't help that I mean, everyone in their head has a different idea of where that spectrum of attractiveness is.
Right.
Obviously, the incel crowd, they see the supermodel as the perfect 10. Me, if I could find a girl who presents like Tank Girl from the movie,
Oh
but
God,
who
no.
does not have the addictive personality. Because
Mhm.
every Tank Girl I've ever met in real life had some sort of substance abuse problem. Every last fucking one of them.
Oh,
And
you poor
so
thing.
that's why being attracted to that sort is kind of to my
Mhm.
detriment. So if
Right.
I could find a Tank Girl presenting woman who, nevertheless, was a little more wholesome without the addiction problems, I'd fall right the fuck head over heels.
Right. Yeah. I'm never going to be a tank girl person. I don't have the body for it. And you know what? That takes a lot of effort.
Well, never mind the perfect 10, case of
Yeah.
17.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop that. I am not. If I was, I'd get laid a lot more often.
Oh
What's
my.
getting laid? I haven't had that in years. God.
Actually, I was just using that to be hyperbolic. I think I might be asexual, but even so, point being, oh, okay, let's put it this way: I'd get hit on a lot more.
Mhm. Oh, the only time I get hit on is when somebody's desperate. I'm sorry. I'm
Mm.
I'm I am not. I have an hourglass figure, but of course, like I said, I'm Romanesque. I am the I guess would it be Botticelli's Venus, where it's well rounded and well curved everywhere.
And that can be done well. It's just it
Hmm.
it depends on, I guess, where the fat lands.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like if you got some on top and some on the hips, but you still
Mhm,
got a waist that goes
I do.
concave,
Hmm.
that could actually be pretty hot. It's when you start heading into beach ball territory that I'm like, "Hmm,
Oh.
well, I mean,
Well, I've had a kid,
like,
so I
'cause,
can't
I mean,
help the
actually,
belly.
some of my best relationships, and honestly, some of my best sex were with slightly Rubenesque women,
Hmm.
but there's limits, is all I'm saying.
Hmm. Well,
Well, I mean, when you get to 400 pounds, there could be some mechanical difficulties, that
well,
sort
Mm.
of thing.
yeah.
You ever see those like wispy, hair thin guys who end up attracted to women that can't get out of bed because they're that fat?
Oh
Yeah,
God,
uh
I
huh.
can't. I can't understand that. That is just ah.
Well, okay, one thing I've noticed, and I've been hesitant to even mention this because it sounds mildly racist, but apparently a lot of black guys like chubbier women.
Yeah.
And so
Mm
I have a couple of, like, well, I won't even call them friends. They were children of my parents' friends that I knew in childhood who were not exactly big, but who, for whatever reason, decided to balloon up and only date black guys.
Ew.
I mean, I guess if that's what floats your ducky, do you? But I don't understand it, is my point.
hmm.
I
Okay,
don't
now,
either.
okay, I mean, at the risk of sounding horrible, I don't understand the mindset that goes for entirely physical. Um,
Mm,
I'm the one. I mean, there are limits, yes, but
Hmm.
there's more to me between the ears than there is anywhere else. I mean,
Hmm.
um, the I'm looking for somebody I can talk to.
Right.
mm. But of course, the first thing that you ever notice about anyone is how they look, because you have to do that before they open their friggin' mouth, unless you're interacting online. You never see them because they don't turn on their webcam. But um, I mean, every now and then, like, okay, I mentioned this before, but I was at the coffee shop a couple of, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. And I look up and there's this tall, fit, beautiful fucking woman. She was like, I mean, she was black. She had these, I don't know, she bleached them white or whatever, but she had like these dreads that were like really bright. And I was just looking, I was like, fuck, she is beautiful. I don't know what she's like personality wise or anything, but I can't stop staring.
Hmm.
And suddenly I realized this could be creepy, so look the other way, Kate. But
Hmm.
I mean, man, it's hard to not be attracted to someone who's beautiful. I mean, they can open their mouth and you discover they're a complete airhead, and then the attraction goes away. But, the first bite is with the eye. That's all there is to it. You can't avoid
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm understanding where you're coming from with that one. And okay, with me, there is an idea that I get of how someone takes care of themselves based on appearance, and it's not always correct, but it's very often correct. And it kind of figures into things too. I mean, when you have the scraggly, oily hair and the one tooth in the mouth and the whole thing, you think in West Virginia, and this person could be a PhD biologist, but that whole West Virginia thing is still going in the head. And that does figure in somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you might meet someone who has the world's greatest personality, but you could never bring yourself to kiss them.
Oh, well,
Right.
that too.
I mean, I'm sure that's really, really, really unfair to some like amazing people, personality wise, who
Mhm.
unfortunately were given the body of a
Right.
festering bog troll. But what are you
Well, I'm
supposed
not
to
a
do?
festering bog troll, but thank you.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I think I've seen your face exactly once. So
Right. Well, and I have never, n- compared to my sister growing up, I felt like um, um, one of the stepsisters from Cinderella,
Mm.
because my sister was always the svelte, thin, pretty girl. She always had her hair perfectly arranged. I mean, my sister was gorgeous growing up, and I always felt next to her like Drusilla.
I can see how it would be hard to not be bitter.
Yeah. Oh, I the thing is my sister now, she's pear shaped, so
Well, and I mean, like there are some people you always have. Every school has the fat kid, the morbidly
hmm
obese kid, and
right.
like in my school, that was Todd Hall, which is a very unfortunate last name for a chubby
Uh-huh.
ass kid. But his entire family were gigantic. Like
Uh-huh.
like beanbag chairs were going. Damn, dude, you know. And I have to wonder, was it their diet? Was it genetics? What was it? What caused an entire family to
hmm
be that big? I don't know.
Right.
It's like maybe it was a combination of multiple factors. I'm sure it was, but
hmm
if I were to eat the same meals as they did, for about as long as they did, what size would I be? I have to wonder.
Right. Well, it's like
We're like, I guess what I'm asking, did they do it to themselves or did genetics do it to
I
them?
don't. And see, that's the thing is, my mom is
Hmm.
this thin, petite, 115 pounds,
Yikes.
and she is too thin, in my
Yeah,
opinion. But she's
especially if she's over
also
5 feet tall.
she's also going on 68, so she'll be no, I'm 48 going on 49. She just turned 69. So
69, dude.
yes,
Okay, I'll just
yeah.
put it here.
And but she's lost so much weight that it's scary. But
Mm.
she compared to me and my sister is like this little dinky thing, whereas both me and my sister look closer to what our grandma Wimbeck looks like. And I know that's genetics. We're never going to look like my mom because we don't share all my mom doesn't share all of our genetics. And that is a great deal of what's going on with me.
Okay, then.
And she's constantly on me that, oh, you should lose weight. You weigh too much. It's not healthy for you.
Oh, Jesus.
And yet, if the doctors that I go to were concerned about it, they would say, you need to lose weight. It's not healthy. But that hasn't even come up in the 4 months that I've been going to them.
Whenever there is something that should be happening but isn't, like it's taking a really long time, I feel like I should lose some weight.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There we go. Now we
Okay, yes. It took me a few seconds. I'm tired. That's why my hair is dark brown. I'm a tire.
Yeah, that's why I occasionally have to be dried in the breeze, is because I'm a tire.
Yes.
Sorry, I was not.
Or, oh my God, Gloria.
Humor isn't for everybody. I know this. I've often described it as a unique method of committing suicide by proxy. But still, I mean, is it technically suicide if you decide to piss people off enough that they're the ones to kill you?
No.
Well, I
mean,
have heard the
it's
term.
induced manslaughter.
If you do it deliberately to make other people kill you, is that suicide?
Well, I have heard the term, for example, suicide by cop, where you threaten somebody or
Suicide by
something, and to get
proxy.
yourself shot by officer of the law.
Oh God,
What's
that is
crazy is the people who have fetishes for things like that.
We've actually had several instances of that going on recently down here in Florida,
Like-
where people have tried to get themselves killed by the cops, and they get killed, yeah, and you hear about it on the news because it's mentioned that they left notes saying, oh, they wanted to be killed by a cop, and unfortunately they managed it, and the poor cops at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
You have to worry about their mental health at that point, because that's got to be something that weighs on their mind.
Well, I don't know how recent this particular phenomenon is, but I've heard of cops where, like, after they've shot somebody, they have mandatory counseling they have to do to try to get over it.
yeah, that's been for a while.
And
yeah.
I mean, like, I get it. But at the same time, I'm sure there's cops out there who are like sociopaths who totally got off on shooting a guy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the guys who show up on YouTube with choking somebody in a headlock until they're dead. Those guys I worry about. Okay.
And of course, they always get like, oh yeah, we put him on paid administrative leave, so you sent him on vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm like, that should be unpaid leave right there.
That is one thing that Florida has started doing. Any cop that gets suspended because of a shooting, they don't get paid for it. And generally, and that's one of the reasons why more and more cops are being pushed towards tasers and beanbag guns and
body cams.
rubber bullets and body cams. Yeah, we recently had an issue with a department where they are no longer allowed to turn off their body cams. The ability to turn off their body cams has been taken away from them because too many instances of complaints where people have been brutalized were not shown on camera.
Oh, and I love this.
The thing is, it wouldn't shock me if they said, "Oh, I can't turn off my body cam sticker."
Yeah.
Putting a sticker over the lens, saying, "Okay, now we can do the atrocity."
It amazes me when you have, say, a whole shitload of cops gang up on somebody, and they're yelling, oh, "Stop resisting! Stop resisting!" And you can tell that this person isn't putting up a fight at all. But I guess as long as you yell "Stop resisting," it's okay for you to do whatever you want to do.
That's like that episode of South Park where they're not supposed to shoot the endangered animals. So as long as you shout, "It's coming straight for us," so you can defend yourself. Yeah. Man, that episode is like literally decades old. I never really watched much South Park. I just remember that episode. It must have been the 90s when that shit came out.
Is South Park still on the air? Or, I mean, I don't know because I haven't looked
Yes.
at any
I
of that
think
stuff in a
it
long
is.
time.
And so is
Yeah,
The
it is.
Simpsons, which is sad because, as I understand it, it's gotten really bad.
Oh,
Well,
God.
okay, the Simpsons, that started in '89, if I remember correctly. So we're talking, like,
Yeah,
Okay, so apparently South Park is on season,
30
no, they're on
years.
season 23 at the moment.
Yeah, Simpsons, I think, is on season 33.
I was going to say it had to be over
30
30.
something.
It had to be over 30 and should have been
Well, this
retired a
will be the
long time
30th
ago.
year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what surprises me though is you cannot buy a box set of like multiple seasons of The Simpsons. In fact, tracking down even one box set of a season, like one season, is hard and they're expensive. And it's like I would have thought there'd be this, seasons 1 through 10 box set for like $50, the way there is with a lot of
you
other
would think.
shows. But no, apparently not.
Okay, then.
I find it strange.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to put
Yeah.
together a box set for The Simpsons, I mean, okay, all the. You'd need a forklift to take it home.
Yeah.
No, you
But,
do
I mean,
season
like,
1
you
through
can
10.
find The Simpsons streaming if you want it, but only like the last season or two.
Huh.
Yeah, there is no streaming service that has the entirety of The Simpsons. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I've looked.
So-
unless they've changed it, unless it's one of those things where like they added it, because the streaming services are never consistent. But on Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, no, you cannot find more than 1 or 2 seasons of The Simpsons, and they're the most recent. I don't know what the rights issues are, though. That's the thing, is that it's always about some legal money thing where someone is blocking it for whatever reason, or they want way too much money for whatever reason, or
Disney
someday.
bought it.
You know the shit that Disney's pulling, right? Where because they did this for a really long time, where they take a classic Disney movie and not release it on video for literally decades.
Right.
And then they put it out for 1 year and make billions because everyone goes, "Oh my gosh, I can finally have access," and they buy it, and then Disney pulls it again. Well, Disney just bought a metric fuck ton of studios and movies and all this stuff and TV shows, and they're talking about doing exactly the same thing now, where they're going to pull it for decades, like all kinds of shows.
Well, this is one of the reasons, not the only one, but one of the reasons I just don't give a shit about television and movies anymore is that, and it's likely that somebody like Disney is going to buy the shit, pull it off the market, and you're not going to be able to get to it. And it's like, okay, if I don't care about it in the first place, I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, entertainment has always been such a huge part of my life that I find it difficult to miss something. Especially since a lot of it just inspired like my desire to be an animator, to try to make my own fiction, so it feels almost like a betrayal of some of my basic assumptions, paradigms, whatever, to ignore at least sci-fi, just doesn't make sense to me. Although I have to admit that sci-fi and fantasy and everything lately has started to take itself, has been taking itself way too seriously for the last at least 20 years, where it's really difficult to get something lighthearted. It all comes off like The Expanse or Game of Thrones or whatever, where all the fun has been leached out in favor of grimness, in favor of being gritty or realistic or whatever. And it's like, I was
See how
raised
my
in an
feelings
era
stand.
of Star Wars and The Last Starfighter and Willow and all of that stuff where adventure entertainment was more lighthearted, where it was more Lucasian or Spielbergian, and it's not that anymore. And it's a shame.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
indeed.
Sorry, I could go on a whole rant about how fiction isn't what it used to be and how I miss it. So, and I don't want to deny people their darker, grittier shit. Just do both at the same time, you know? Instead of saying,
Okay.
well, this is what's popular now and fuck the other stuff, have a little freaking variety.
Yeah, I'm with you. But what can I say? Give me the original Planet Earth, or one I really liked was Making of a Continent. Yes, I'm talking nonfiction here. What can I tell you?
I'm sorry. I grew up on fiction. I grew up on what the world ought to be instead of what it is. Well, I mean, come on,
Okay.
if you're a kid in the 80s was that sweet spot that I'm always talking about, where they hadn't yet realized that fight scenes and special effects could replace decent plot. You know,
Yeah.
we're like, a lot of people back in the 80s would bitch that there was too many special effects, but they hadn't yet realized that they didn't have to have a good script to go with it. Not yet. And so, sure, there was a lot of special effects, but you would still get like The Empire Strikes Back, where you have that drama of Luke discovering that his arch enemy is his dad and all of that stuff. You had a lot of character development. Yeah, Han and Leia's relationship that grew out of rivalry, basically, antagonism and all of that. And, it was a pretty decent, well told story with a lot of special effects. These days, on the other hand, it's martial arts that go too fast to follow and a lot of lens flares if you're watching like Michael Bay or whatever, J.J. Abrams. And it's like, these are not well told stories. And someone else, like I was watching a video about this, like the 5 reasons movies suck now. And part of it is just that there will be a lot of backstory that's left out of the movies. So when what's her face, the orange totally not Eve from the Incredibles alien in the new Star Wars movies is like handing Rey a lightsaber. Someone says, "How did you get your hands on this?" And she goes, "That's a story for another time." And it's like, no, we want to know the freaking story.
Yeah, really.
But of course, these movies all expect to be franchises, so they will tell half of a story to get people to go watch the next movie.
Yeah.
And that's
Right, well,
another
that's like
suck.
Avatar. The actual Avatar, not the Last Airbender, the blue
Right,
guys.
right. Yeah.
It was a long ass movie. I mean, it was almost 3 hours long, but it told an entire tale
Mm-hmm.
from start to finish, and it kept everybody riveted. And now they're making more movies, and
Which is
everybody's
okay.
like, we want to see what happens next. Where's
Right.
it going? But most
mean-
movies nowadays don't have that. They start you in the middle of a plot, and you're like, okay, what the fuck caused it? Where the fuck are we going?
Well, and
What
even if they
happens
don't
afterward?
do that, I mean, a lot of movies these days will say, "Okay, we have 9 of these planned," and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you have a story arc to tell, but at the same time, I mean, like if you watch Star Wars, it's a self-contained story. Sure, the Empire isn't completely defeated, but if they had stopped without ever making The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, it would have been okay. But even
Right.
then, at the end of Return of the Jedi, basically they could have stopped there. Disney did not have to continue with the next episodes. But I mean, because the Empire's defeated, the Emperor's dead, Vader's dead. It told a whole story and then ended. But these
Right.
days, they expect movies to keep going, keep going, keep going till audiences get bored and
Right.
they stop making money from the movies.
Oh,
And
what's a
fuck the
good
story.
example of
All they
that?
care about is bums on seats. The artistry is gone
Mhm.
completely.
I'm trying to.
That's why when I find a movie that breaks that modern mold, I latch
Mhm.
onto it pretty friggin' hard.
Mhm. Well, and that's like with the new Star Wars movies. It just like
I gave
There's,
up after Rogue One. I said, "Fuck this
yeah,
shit."
there's something lacking in the movies. I mean, it's like all they're doing is renewing the plot from Return of the Jedi or whatever. They're recycling the plot, and the characters aren't believable.
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem. I remember watching Rogue One, and when it was over, I couldn't remember the names of any of the characters. And I
Right.
definitely didn't care when they died because they
Right.
never took the time to get me attached to them. I mean, you
Hmm.
watch the original Star Wars again, in 5-10 minutes, you learn more about Luke Skywalker than you do about the
Right.
Rogue One characters in an entire movie. You learn
Right.
about Luke's hopes, his dreams, his father, like
Right.
the rest of his family, his aunt and uncle who don't want him to leave the nest and all that stuff. You learn so much about him that it's easy to get attached. But
Hmm.
you watch the characters in like even most movies these days, but especially the Star Wars movies, they're just
Hmm.
there to hold the guns. You're watching somebody else play a video game.
Right. And that's like with Rey, the main character in the new Star Trek movies or Star Wars movies. You still don't even know what's up with her parents. You have this hyperbole that her parents were smugglers and they left her behind because she was in the way, but you don't know that for sure. And
Well,
it's like, uh,
and the funny
you
thing
don't.
is that some movies can actually leave out information and it's okay
Mhm.
if they do it right. Take, for
Right.
example, V for Vendetta. We never find out V's true identity. We never find
Mhm.
out who he was before he became V, but it's
Right.
okay. He doesn't have to be. It actually works with the character, works with the
Right.
story to never know. And
Right.
I remember when I left the theater, I was like, we never learned who this guy was. And for once, I'm okay with lacking
Mhm.
that information. I don't need
Right.
it. And that is a well told story that they just don't
Mhm.
fucking do anymore.
Well, Assassin's Creed. They
Not a game?
start you. It's a game, and they based a movie off of it. It's a
Oh, I
video
didn't
game
know.
with the movie based off of it. And
Okay.
you, anybody who's played Assassin's Creed knows that basically this group has been around since the beginning of ever. They've always been assassins to make history move forward when it
Hmm.
was stalling. And their whole goal is certain factions of the company. I don't even remember the name of the company. It was that bad a movie. Push on one side and the other side pushes on the other
Abstergo.
side. Okay.
Hmm.
And their whole goal is to move history forward. And it's we want our side to win and you want your side to win, but who's going to actually win?
Right.
So, and
Well,
that's something you learn from dealing with the games, but they never actually tell you that in the movie. So anybody who's not played the games or even knows anything about the games is looking at this movie like, okay, what?
well, okay. One movie that I like to bring up when we're talking about this sort of thing is Jupiter Ascending, because that
Oh,
movie would have made an amazing TV show. Because watching the movie, you can see there's so much backstory, so much back history, and they just don't have enough time to tell you what's going on. I mean, it came off kind of like a faster paced version of Dune. And I wanted to see more when it was over. I was like, that was a shitty movie because it was a movie. That was the problem with it. It should have been more like Babylon 5 as a TV show. And
mm-hmm.
well, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
But oh man, there was something else I was gonna mention. I don't remember it now. Oh well, it doesn't matter, I guess. Oh, that's right. The Foundation books by Isaac Asimov.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I was trying to read the first one. But the problem is that they would introduce a bunch of characters and they would make something happen that would have far-reaching implications. And then after a chapter, boom, 1,000 years later, here's the results of their work and a bunch of new characters you've never met before who are going to chat about how they're going to make the next 1,000 years happen. And then boom, another 1,000 years. And I'm like, but I want to know who these people are. I'm not attached to
Right,
anything.
it
They're
jumps
just,
around
they're
too
just
much.
there as a catalyst to make events move forward. Like the whole book is just about the events. And I'm like, this
Mhm.
is not a well-told story. I need characters. I need people to
Right.
care about because right now it's so impersonal. I don't give a flying fuck.
Right. I can understand that.
And it
There
was the
has to
same
be,
thing with The Crucible of Time, which could have been a good book, but so wasn't.
I've always enjoyed character development over full on huge plots because the character development should drive the plot.
And when they get both of them right, oh, it's
Uh-huh.
sweet. It
Right.
really is.
Well, that's like I like a lot of Anne McCaffrey's books because her stories always have a plot behind them.
Okay, I
And
really tried to read The Dragon Riders of Pern. The problem is
well,
in the second chapter,
mhm,
basically what ends up happening is all of a sudden there's these two guys who are arriving on dragons in some city or other, and
mhm.
you are thrown like at you is thrown a bunch of names with apostrophes in them that
Mhm.
have no explanation. Some of them are cities, some of them are people, but how are you supposed to know the difference because they're just weird ass names? There's no explanation for any of it. You're supposed to get it all by osmosis. And I'm like, this
Mhm.
is no fun. I am completely confused. I need a chart.
Well, the thing is that um, as the story goes along, if you haven't finished the entire book, it does
Hmm.
get explained, and what's going on does get explained. Or you can start with not necessarily the dragon flight. You can start with uh, Dragon's Dawn, which is actually technically the first book in the entire series, but it was not written first. It is
Okay.
how the Dragon Riders came about,
Oh, is that
how
the
the
one where they
dragons
were on
came.
a spaceship? At first, they were
Hmm.
spaceship colonists. Yeah, I tried to read that one too and couldn't get through it. I don't know. Maybe I just
Oh,
don't connect with her writing style or
maybe
something.
it might
But
be.
well, honestly, I've read a lot of books that
Mhm.
like they don't give you any explanation. It's like you're thrown into this situation cold, and it's
Yeah.
like I am so confused right now who the frig are
Mhm.
all these people. You
Right.
should do some setup first and
Right.
then do the massive political shit that
Hmm.
makes no sense without
Right.
knowing anything. You know, like for
Hmm.
example, Elizabeth Moon wrote The Deed of Paxenarian,
Oh
which
yes. Oh my
starts with
God.
this girl who knows as much as we do about the world. She's a sheep
Right.
farmer's daughter, and
I
that's
love
it.
that
She
one.
goes, becomes a mercenary,
Hmm.
and
I
learns
have that
about
book.
the world through that, and we learn along with her. That is how you tell a
Yep.
story with a complicated
I
world like
love Elizabeth Moon.
that. All right, in that case, have you ever read the Vorkosigan Saga by Lois McMaster Bujold?
No,
Well, you should. It's totally worth it.
you'll have to type out that name for me,
Yeah, it's not yeah. Okay.
and I'll look it up at the local library.
There, it's in the
Mhm.
public chat.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Of
worth it.
course,
Such a
again.
great Vorkosigan.
Yeah. Well,
It's like based
I'm
on
eating.
Russian, the whole society of of the Baryaran Empire is
Hmm.
Russian, so or
Hmm.
based on Russia. So there's a lot of that in there.
Hmm. There was another book. I don't remember who the author was. I'm not sure who it was. About, oh God, it came out a long time ago. I can't even remember the name of the book. Oh my God, The Angel of
What?
Mezzo something or other, where
Mm.
this girl had wings, if I remember correctly. I have to see if I can
Okay.
find it again. Um, it was based on old Venetian society, but it was in the future. and they lived on canals and stuff.
Okay. And she's just randomly born with wings?
Mm-hmm. I think
That seems
It's been
quite
a while.
odd. You know, I've often wondered, like, physically, if there were winged humans, angels or
Mhm.
whatever, how would that work? You know, I mean,
know.
like they would need to have extra muscles, wouldn't they? I mean, you've
Mhm.
got essentially a new set of limbs that somehow
Mhm.
have to function. Now, I remember someone pointed out, well, if there are winged humans, the wings would actually probably come out of your middle, like below your ribs, because if they were up on the shoulder blades, like people usually depict, it wouldn't work. So they would have to
Hmm.
be like down here, around about, like just about your kidneys or something. Ah,
Hmm. I would
but
think.
I have wondered about that.
Well, that would
I
screw
think
up the
they would be
center of
attached to
gravity
your
now.
ribs.
Mm,
I would think they would be attached to your rib cage,
something.
uh,
But
and the muscles would branch off from the muscles that control your spine.
yeah. I mean, because
I
if they
know.
were actually on your shoulder blades, essentially the way it's usually
Mhm.
depicted, if you're gonna flap, you'd probably have to do something like this to like counterbalance. Like, have you ever tried to walk without swinging your arms at all? It feels really awkward. And I'm thinking if you tried to flap without moving your arms at all either, it would probably be just as awkward.
Hmm. Well, that's why I'm saying not necessarily at the shoulder blades, but
Hmm.
starting at like along your middle of your spine, going
Oh yeah.
down.
I was just explaining the problems with the traditional depiction of humans with
Right.
wings.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
damn it, Diana, shut up. We're talking.
Now I'm trying to
Well, I
think.
think she's just enjoying the conversation.
There you
I
go.
suppose that's possible.
I'm trying to think at this. You know, with the winged humans. As far as I remember, you never see the movement of the muscles under the skin.
Right.
I mean, you know, when you move your arm, you can see how the stuff up here is going around, but the wings are simply just on hinges somehow, and they're doing this thing. And how are they doing it?
Mhm.
And then, of
I
course,
mean,
never mind that that's evolutionarily impossible. You know, because you've got no basis from which to work. But that's another story.
well, okay, I don't know if you've ever read the comic book Elf Quest, but there's
No.
this one character
Oh
called
God,
Tildak,
yes.
where
Tildak.
one of the other characters
Winnowill.
she reshaped her his hands so that they would have extra webbing and be longer, so that basically his arms became his wings. Mind you,
Yeah.
it was a magical transformation, but I mean, it wouldn't be completely impossible for humans to eventually evolve hand wings, I suppose.
Well, that right. I mean, you could get there from here, but
Yeah.
the wings coming out of the shoulders. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
have the graphic
there's
novel.
Yeah.
you can't get there from here.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
basically.
essentially like when I think about it, humans are basically just upright quadrupeds, really.
Right,
You
right,
know?
yeah,
And so to have wings, you would have to be a friggin' hexaped, essentially.
right, yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
And speaking
well,
of which, that's the huge issue regarding one of Kent Hovind's questions. Oh, if rabbits evolved to run away from predators, why didn't they evolve wings? Therefore, evolution is fake.
yeah, because you know, evolution makes logical choices. It's
Right.
clearly, yeah. I mean, like I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. There was something. It might even have been the ants that did what most humans would probably describe as de-evolving, simply because the selection pressures forced them to, like,
Get
just
smaller.
for mere survival, yeah, to change in a way that we would consider detrimental, but which nevertheless help perpetuate the species. Someone like Kent Hovind would look at that and go, see, evolution is fucked up because they didn't advance to the next level or something.
No,
And it's like you're like, okay, if evolution worked the mistaken way you think it would, then yeah, you'd be right, Kent. but it doesn't work the way you think it works, and you're arguing against something that isn't even claimed by the people you're disagreeing with.
Right. And I think he knows it.
Well, that's the
Oh,
thing.
he
I don't know how
definitely
he would
knows it.
react to being told that.
He's
You know,
been
like,
told
right
that
to
many
his face.
times.
Right to
He
his
ignores
face.
it. Yes.
Like, seriously, literally, he's on the debate stage with someone. They say, what you're describing as evolution is not what evolution is. You've got it wrong.
I'm reasonably sure that has happened. Now, I'm going to allow for the fact that I could be wrong. I mean, I have never been wrong to date, but it could happen in the future.
Well, if you're never wrong in the future, then you were just wrong now.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
my.
bat wings
Make
are
another
essentially hands, Greg.
Yes,
That's-
absolutely. Yeah.
Birds, too.
Yeah. Well, what's really interesting, and I know there's not necessarily an evolutionary link here, but the I forget if it's the family or whatever that bats are in is Chiroptera, hand wings.
Uh-huh. I mean, if you were to look at the bones in wings and imagine them shorter, they are essentially fingers.
Yeah.
You know, like have a look at this right here. You know, if you look, that's clearly, you can see the thumb. You can see all four of the non-thumb fingers, the digits there. Those are hands that have webbing and feathers, basically.
Yep.
So yeah, bat wings are hands.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that used to be hands. Well, let me think about this. Do we have the genesis of hands in the crown of Carnivora? I think it is. You know, the base of the line from which we now have raccoons.
I have no idea whatsoever.
You guys are getting seriously bad.
Didn't catch that. You broke up a sec.
Yeah. So we're breaking up as well as you.
No. I haven't heard anyone break up at all, except for one brief blip with what Tornado just said. Or did you not catch that?
Well, I caught the cutting in and out with Tornado. Yeah, because he sort of
that's the only
picked up in the middle.
You guys are roboting.
You are roboting more than us, sweetheart.
Yeah, I haven't heard either of the other two roboting. There's something wrong on your end, Tornado.
I wonder if your wire is broken or some shit like that. Yeah.
There, I think that should be an image of Tildak for those who are
Huh?
wondering what we're talking about.
What?
No, that's a link to the stream.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't copyright. Sorry, guys.
That's gonna. Yeah. We have to do something about that.
Copy. There we go.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. I think you're gonna have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not that there's unrestricted access. I mean, I would have to let somebody on, but still, you know.
There.
Okay, that's better. Oh,
Hey guys,
let's.
can you hear me?
No.
Anyway, I hope I'm not roboting anymore.
Not this
So
time.
far, you're so good.
Trying to
that
find
will-
the image of Tildak being shaped by Winnowill.
Oh,
it's kind of freaky,
saw
but
that
I don't
just-
see it.
Hold on. I just saw it on this web page I'm looking at. There it is.
You know, I have to wonder though, like, how does someone look at a small, helpless, defenseless little baby and say, your name is going to be Winnowill, and not realize she's going to turn evil?
Mm.
No, I mean, unless she decided to name herself that, I'm going to winnow away people's will. And originally her name was Lucy.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it just seems kind of crazy. It's like,
Yeah,
how do you
this
not know
is-
that it's going to become evil when she grows up?
Yeah. This is just a
Well, Greg,
copy of the Marvel of the comic book cover.
Well,
Yeah,
but
well-
there is an image where he's like on the ground screaming in pain as she reshapes him, and I
This
can't
is-
find it.
This is the one where it shows him in the stages of where she's reshaping him. The one I just linked.
No, not the one I'm talking about.
No,
That's
okay.
that's just the picture on the cover. No, this is
Yeah.
actually inside the book.
See, I have it, but I have to unpack the graphic novels, and I have no way of taking a picture of it.
Oh, I've actually got them over there. It's just I don't really want to because it's over there.
It's
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that is not in Google image search, but well, because I tried Tildak transformation and Tildak Winnowill, and then neither one came up as, yeah.
Let me scroll.
And I'm seeing a lot of creepy ass cosplay. You know. But yeah, most cosplay. I mean, you can find some really good cosplay out there, but most of it is just creepy. You know. Oh well. Hey, didn't we have a topic originally that we talked about before the show started and then never discussed again?
Oh yeah,
probably.
that one. Yeah, it's. I wish I could show this easily. I'm going to have to work on that one. But something I had just seen this morning was Dawkins made a post, which is an interesting little thing going on here. He said, "It's one thing to deplore eugenics on ideological, political, moral grounds. It's quite another to conclude that it wouldn't work in practice. Of course it would. It works for cows, horses, pigs, dogs, and roses. Why on earth wouldn't it work for humans? Facts ignore ideology." And the entire Twitter jumped all over him.
And the thing is, he's not wrong. Or let's put it this way: he's not incorrect.
Right.
I understand the outrage. I really do. But at the same time, I mean, saying it could work is not the same as saying it should be done.
Well, everybody that I have seen so far who has been all over him has been saying, Dawkins, you're condoning eugenics. You're condoning eugenics. In that post, I see nothing that says, no advocacy. I want let's try this again. I want eugenics to be implemented or anything. And he clarified in a later post, I'll have to look for it. And he said, yeah, well, you said it again, you asshole. And it's like, no. Why is it that, okay, somebody says something even mildly controversial and the entire world is going to take it the wrong way?
And clarity doesn't matter. Telling people that's not what I meant doesn't matter. They've already convicted and condemned you.
Yeah.
And it's that herd mentality, that scenting blood in the water. Hey, let's pile on shit that people love to do. And yeah, it's bullshit that people do it, but.
Now, I know that Dawkins isn't exactly at the top of a lot of people's like lists, so they're immediately going to be looking for something objectionable in anything he says. But, read the damn post and, do your best to understand it. Really. Come on.
They're just revealing their own ignorance and stupidity. Their willingness to use emotion over logic and reason. There's times I almost wish we were all Vulcans, but or robots. But I mean, like, I remember after the impeachment vote where Tulsi voted present rather than guilty or not guilty,
Okay, then.
right?
Yeah.
And people on the left lost their fucking minds. They were like, "Oh, she's done. She's a traitor. Trump, Trump, Trump," and all this stuff. And I've started to call it Trump derangement syndrome, where it's like the vote blue no matter who, folks. Getting rid of Trump is the only thing that matters, they say. Never mind what the next president will or won't do, whether or not their presence in the White House will be a benefit to us. It's just, oh, get rid of Trump, get rid of Trump. So when Tulsi, like she had reasons for voting present that were mostly about setting precedents, setting bad precedents, but at the same time she couldn't vote to say he's not guilty, but she didn't want to vote to say he was guilty because it would set a bad precedent. And I was like, that shows a certain amount of integrity, kind of the way Mitt Romney decided to vote guilty when
Yeah.
they got the actual trial. And I'm like, I don't like Mitt Romney, but that shows a certain amount of integrity. And articles
Mhm.
have come out saying that people have, like a lot of Republicans voted not guilty simply out of fear for their careers or whatever. And I'm like, people piled on to Tulsi the way they piled on to Dawkins for this. Where it's just like, oh, you weren't ideologically pure and we don't care about your reasons or if we misunderstood you. We just want to have our lynch mob,
Well,
basically.
yeah, I mean, Romney wasn't ideologically pure either, but he was ideologically impure the way the left wanted him to be. So that was okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But the right wing is losing their shit the same way people are losing their shit with Dawkins right now. The
yeah.
same way they lost it with Tulsi.
Yeah. I mean,
And
okay, Tulsi is not at the top of my like list at this point, but still, I mean, she may have had a point, okay, and I'll give her that. Um,
hmm,
and then, well, everybody not liking Sanders for everything, and that's another thing with what the fuck. I mean, people are even tweeting pictures of him having lost weight now and saying, "Okay, he's dying," like they're hoping or some shit. Um,
yeah, well, there's a lot of folks who are very opposed to him. Usually their reasons are like complete straw man arguments. And the thing is, I don't even know if they know that they are straw man arguments. I think a lot of people genuinely believe the bullshit they say. Like they haven't done their research, they haven't done their homework to find out whether or not it means anything. It was just the first thing they heard, and they're clinging to it as hard as they can because humans hate to be wrong.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, as
but
Archie Downard would say, I mean, they are addicted to secondary sources. They never looked at the head of the chain, the primary sources. Is he
Mhm.
really this or is he not? One of those
Well,
deals.
that and a lot of them are like, well, he's our opponent. I want this other candidate. And therefore, if anyone says anything horrible about him, I'm going to believe it because he's not exactly what I want.
And
You
here's
know?
here's something else that comes up. I don't know if I've said this before or not. The people on the left are all over the right because they're claiming the right is party over country. What are they
Which they still
doing
do.
what are they doing to Sanders? They are saying, he's not even a Democrat. What is
Oh,
that but party over country?
oh, absolutely. I keep bringing that sort of thing up where they're like, well, he's not a Democrat. And I'm like, well, if Donald Trump declared himself a Democrat, would you still fucking vote for him? I don't think you would. But that example, like, you ever make an argument and it goes completely unaddressed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like people decided to not deal with that particular argument against their point.
I mean, if you're going to dislike Sanders, please dislike him for some position he holds or something he's done rather than the fact that he's an independent caucusing with the Democrats. Okay? Just pick something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's done anything to warrant the hatred. I mean, a lot of the arguments against Bernie are just like a lot of it is just people flipping out about, say, the S word, for example.
Okay.
It's just people, I don't know, they're so paranoid.
Oh my.
I don't understand humanity sometimes. I'm not entirely certain I'm from this fucking planet.
And then we have Greg Hartwick with Venezuela. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, they love screaming Venezuela. But I found that picture of Tildak being transformed, the one I was looking for.
Okay.
He wasn't particularly happy about the process, but he definitely liked the results, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the picture I was looking for. Unfortunately, it's cropped a bit, so you can't see his final form, but still.
The image I gave was his final form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this whole page shows beginning to end. If
Exactly
you can
what
see
she
the whole
did,
page, but at least that's the picture that I was looking for.
Yep.
Oh, boy, moi. Yeah, with the whole Dawkins thing that we had going on, there was a reply from Renevelation, which sums things up pretty darn well. He says, would I be condoning slavery if I said that it is possible to use black people as cattle and let them carry our bags? No, I wouldn't. Stating that something can be done is not stating that it should be, especially if this person says that it should not be. And this is what the entirety of everything, not only Dawkins, but everything else are missing. Stick to the damn point, as you've said. And
Well, and I mean, the sheer number of times when I've been in a similar situation where I say, this is something that could be done and I'm in no way condoning it. And then you'll get people saying, no, it can't be done. And it becomes clear that they're saying it shouldn't.
yes,
and I say,
yes.
No, it's possible. Here's the mechanism by which it would happen. And it gets to a point where it looks for all the world like I'm advocating for it, when really I'm just saying, no, it can be done.
Doesn't mean it should be done.
It's so frustrating trying to explain to people, look, you can object to this on ideological grounds. You can have moral outrage, and I will too, but don't deny reality.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is why there are many, many, many things I simply will not say because I don't want an entire shitstorm.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sick and tired of, like, the number of times I've typed out long Facebook posts and then deleted it saying I don't want to deal with other people's bullshit.
Right.
It's like,
don't want to listen to the whiners bitching.
Yeah, I mean, if they said, like, I understand what you're saying and I agree that it's possible, but you shouldn't do it, and I can say, oh, totally, I agree, that would be great. Right. But you're gonna get the people losing their shit like I'm Hitler, advocating for the Holocaust.
Yeah, tossing their left nut in the ring.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it.
Now, there's the question I have. Were it possible to transplant Donald Trump's brain into a cat, should we do it?
Yes. Then we can hand him over to some old Chinese restaurant and let him cook them.
Oh, my word. There was one.
Of course, Diana knows I got the reference.
Uh-huh. I heard the ack.
I don't know the reference, so.
Oh, have you heard of Bloom County?
No.
Oh,
it's
man.
A comic strip from way back when.
It was one of the best comic strips ever. Yeah.
Yeah. See, right here. Fact, Donald Trump was hit by his own anchor last week. Fact, his body broken but his brain intact. Mr. Trump lies in a secret New York surgical lab. Fact, desperate surgeons are preparing at this moment to transplant Donald's brain into the skull of a healthy cat. Fact, it isn't Heathcliff.
No, you got it wrong. Fact, surgeons
No,
are
I did not get it
surgeons
wrong.
are
Look at
planning
the
to
screen.
She's reading the damn thing. Jesus, man.
The screen, Tornado.
Huh?
Look at the screen.
Hold on.
Which cat is that?
That is
That's
Bill the cat.
from Bloom County.
Phil the cat. Okay. Okay, now I know why you said ack.
Ack, barf,
Yeah,
blech, gag. Yeah.
Yeah. Phil the cat is a
So-
healthy cat, but he's an idiot.
I wouldn't say that he's an idiot. He's quite savvy. It's just that he's socially unacceptable.
Well,
And of course, there's the
Well,
other
I-
bit.
God, he's filthy. He's dirty. He's like his hair sticks out all over the place. It just
Reminds me of some of my neighbors.
Of course, there's the other side of the coin.
well, you know, it would be a good idea. Do you know why? Because Trump would absolutely hate it.
Well, I don't know. You see, Trump is this close to being Bill the cat, and he hasn't strangled himself yet.
No, but he's a neatnik. He hates being dirty.
which makes this particular strip all the funnier.
Trump dump.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. The funny thing is, though, reading the dialogue for Trump now, like reading the Bloom County dialogue for Trump, and then seeing how Trump actually speaks, Bill the Cat is a much, much better, more articulate person than Donald Trump actually is in real life.
Oh my.
Well, there was a time when Donald Trump was more articulate than he is now. Not by much, but he could string an entire sentence together and it would be comprehensible.
Yeah. Although there is another Bloom County strip that I would say portrays him rather well, where Oliver Wendell Jones is looking at the stars. 1,000 points of light so very far above me. What secrets do you hold? And he's sitting there going, TRUM.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that depicts Trump rather well, I think.
Oh my, I don't know. It's
Now,
I-
of course, there's another thing. They are they are planning on transplanting Donald Trump's brain into a super powerful military AI computer. Fact. Oh shit, we just made Skynet.
yeah.
Terminator, yeah.
Yeah,
Terminator joke.
maybe it's just me, but Tornado, stop trying to be funny. You're not good at it.
No.
You guys missed the incident on movie night. Oh wait, you were watching it.
Yes, we were.
Which one?
This Friday.
There were many.
There were many hysterical moments. I think at one point I almost died from laughing so hard.
Well, there was the moment that brought the entire house down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What, did I say something funny?
Not exactly.
Funny
no.
for values of funny that did not equate to humorous.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filters,
Oh.
dear. You need more filters.
That has always been a problem for him.
What did I just find?
He doesn't, concepts don't always click in his head. That is typical with most Asperger kids.
To be fair, when I was referencing punching the cobra, I was referencing a
No.
sideshow.
We're not even talking about that,
we're not
dear.
even
Let's
worried about that one.
let's just let it settle
We'll talk
out,
about it
and we'll
later.
talk about it later. Yes. No continuing the embarrassment online. On the air. No, we don't need that.
Sorry, I ended up going down a bit of a rabbit hole looking at because I typed in Donald Trump, Bill the Cat, and some of
Uh-huh.
the stuff that came up is just so I don't even know what I'm looking
Off the
at.
wall?
Well, because it's not all Bloom County, and some of it,
Right.
like here we have uh, Donald Trump with his speech.
Jeez.
Yeah, apparently there's a show or a segment in the Late Show or
Yes.
something. Our cartoon president. I didn't know about it till this very moment, but wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we ended up with a hell of an Oval Office occupant.
Excuse me.
Well, okay. Kate did a very good job pointing me toward the alt-right playbook. I'll point everybody else toward it as well. It's out there on YouTube. Just look up alt-right playbook. Very, very informative.
and was I right that watching the whole thing in one go is a bit of an emotional gut punch?
Yeah, yeah.
Like especially the bit about Gabe. You remember the bit about Gabe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like for those who don't know this part, it's basically a sort of hypothetical situation, although I don't know how hypothetical it really is. It sounds based on real life. About a fakey guy named Gabe who doesn't feel like he belongs anywhere. And so he goes onto an anime like website, and it turns out the alt-right has infiltrated it and is like slowly indoctrinating people through their fandom. And
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at articles the other day, and it turns out, yeah, that's actually a thing. They're really doing it. This was not some apocryphal tale.
Oh, right,
So
right, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So I mean, if you happen to be on an anime website message board or something, there's a very real chance someone's going to try to sneak some racism in there and eventually slowly get you agreeing with it.
Yeah.
And you might not even notice it's happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the
I'm not
insidious
on
part of the
any
whole thing.
not on any anime
Well, you
sites.
find it everywhere. You really do. You
Mhm.
could probably find it on a recipe channel.
Hmm.
Although, I mean, it does seem to be centered around like sci-fi fandom to get the young guys into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a thing.
Okay, here we are. Here we are. Let me copy the link location.
I mean, I'm just looking at this one here. Why does the alt-right like anime? And the troubling relationship between anime and fascism.
Well, I don't know.
And
They probably like anime because the anime girls are at least an 8.5 on their scale, right?
well, sure, but
Right.
part of it is that they're using it as a recruitment tool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the link to the entire playlist is there. It'll take you a couple hours, but it's a couple hours well spent.
hmm I'm not even sure how I found it in the first place, this alt-right playbook, but when I did and I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh. So, anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting that associated with that channel are a couple of names that I knew already, and I didn't.
Huh. Well, like in the very first episode, they start talking about how the alt-right has infiltrated parts of the YouTube atheism community, and they flash up the Amazing Atheist as the example.
Yeah.
TJ Kirk, apparently, I haven't watched him since like in literally a decade, but I, I, I mean, I don't remember him being particularly alt-right, but I hear a lot of people talking about his bullshit, and I'm like, well, it doesn't shock me that he might be.
I think if I remember correctly, I haven't watched him in years as well, but he seemed to have started circling the alt-right drain about the time I quit watching him, and that was the reason I quit watching him. He just seemed just objectionable on many, 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 many levels, and the politics being one of them, and the everything else going on. Not a very honorable character as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't know. I stopped watching him largely because he decided not to interact with his viewers at all. I mean, this was a long time ago, but I was just like, are you even paying attention to the people that you know fuel your channel? And
Mm-hmm.
he didn't answer, and I was just like, I'm sure. I mean, because as a content creator myself, I like interacting with the people that comment on my videos. I like to give it that personal touch, and I'm always kind of weirded out by people who don't.
I should do better than I do because I know I'm not perfect as far as that stuff goes, but I do like it as well. I mean, the fact that somebody took the time to make a comment, they actually paid attention and, they said something, and, I'm something besides a billboard to these people. And that's kind of nice, kind of validating.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Even the
I just
people, even the people who complain that you and I know nothing about economics. There was somebody who commented on one of our streams when we were talking economics, and I think we were talking about money supply. This person, you know nothing, and it's like, I took an intro economics course. I know a little.
I don't know. There are so many times where I look at something like economics and I just go, this is so incomprehensible, mostly because the people who are really involved are completely illogical.
Well, we were on the Bloom County topic a little while ago, and I remember a Bloom County strip where Binkley had a visit from his closet of fears or whatever the hell it was, and the
Yeah.
monster says, "I have something for you," and you hear him scream, you see him screaming, "Oh no! Two economists in the same room!"
Right. Yeah. The monster was the giant purple snorkel whacker. Or
Yes,
giant
yes.
spotted snorkel whacker.
Oh, why are you giving me flashbacks? I don't need to hear Snorkel Whacker.
Why not?
He's been whacking his snorkel a little too much lately.
That's probably it. But no, I remember that one, the economists, and like they just immediately started disagreeing with each
Yes,
other.
yes, yes.
But then they agreed with each other and then disagreed.
Oh man, I wonder if I could find it.
Oh, it's got to be buried like so deep in the depths of the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nightmare closet. I'm seeing the one with his old librarian, but not the one with the economists.
Oh, it appears that this was part of a series of strips. Because I've got one of them right here. Now, wait a minute. Here is the. Yeah, I wish I could put this up. Well, what I'll do is I will get the link to the image. Where the hell? Copy image location. There we go. Oh, no, that's not the one I want. This is the one I want.
Oh, that's right. It was the anxiety closet. That's what it was called.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna.
it's tiny though. You can barely see it.
Oh man. Okay. I don't know if there's any better version.
I mean, I can barely read it. It's like Binkley, you're from my anxiety closet. Like, yes, we're two expert economists. We'll be your nightmare tonight. It's like two economists in the same room. Please, just don't discuss the economy. The economy? Oh, it's improving. No, it's not, gentlemen. It's like the leading economic indicators show a sustained. I can't even read that towards my guy goes, "Phooey, the deficit. What of the deficit? The key, of course, is the deficit." And the guy's like, "The deficit, my fanny." The same guy who said the key is the deficit. Anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to read at this size because it's very fuzzy.
Well, what I'll do is I'll try to take the page I got it from. I know it's in here somewhere.
Well, I'm looking here, encrypted dash TBN 0. Oh, I can't even.
Oh man. Okay. The link to the page it's on is too damned long for the side chat.
I hate it when that happens, where it's like this long ass string of random ass characters that go on for at least a paragraph.
Yes, indeed. It was 300 somewhat. It was half again as long as they will let on the side chat.
Yeah.
Well, search Bloom County, two economists in the same room. You'll get there. Hopefully. Wait a minute. Let's see what we have here. Is this going to be any better? No, wait. That's 672 by 273. Wait a minute. What am I saying? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I just found that and I was like, it's pretty good.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's something different. Damn it.
Janet. Sorry. Anytime someone says damn it, my brain goes to Rocky Horror.
Yep.
Oh, boy, boy.
It's
Oh,
like
well.
the sheer number of times I don't say it. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd like to work on. I'd like to work out a way that I could do the sharing. Because yeah, all you guys see is you are sharing this, and you're not seeing what I'm sharing. I gotta fix that. Well, there's a lot of shit I have to fix. I'm already fixed, so we're not gonna worry about that. That was the best decision I made in a life full of bad decisions.
Well, I know that I'm still broken.
Oh my.
Wow. I don't think it can ever be fixed. That's okay. I mean, most decent art comes from broken people.
Yeah, okay. I mean, where my mind goes first is think of how broken Beethoven was.
Well, I didn't so much mean physically.
No, I mean he was seriously screwed up.
Was he? I only know he was deaf.
Bipolar, I think schizophrenic elements. I mean, he was paranoid at the very least. Yeah, that man would have needed a lifetime of therapy had it existed.
Yeah.
And that was the funny thing. I remember years ago there was somebody harping on me with, okay, picture this. You know, there's this person whose mother died at a very young age, who was bipolar, who had a litany of things wrong. Would you have aborted this person? And then of course the answer that they're hoping for is yes. And you've just killed Beethoven, and what I've always wanted to do is just start screaming at a person who does that with, yeah, you know what? Beethoven might have appreciated having been aborted.
Possibly, I suppose.
I mean, let
I
me.
don't know. I sometimes wonder, like, because you get those anti-abortion people who will say things like that, and I'm like, yeah, but what if I aborted the next Hitler?
Oh, that
They always
too.
assume they always assume that the child being aborted would have shat rainbows if they
Mm-hmm.
lived. You know, and it's like, not so much. There's some pretty crap ass people out there. And someone else was trying to get on my case where he's like, hey, I was almost aborted, but then I wasn't. Would you have killed me? And I'm like, if we had, you never would have known it.
I mean,
You know,
how many times have I cried myself to sleep, wishing that 23-year-old student nurse would have made it to New York and had an abortion, for fuck's sake.
mm.
And
I mean,
don't
get me
don't
wrong, I like
anybody
being-
go writing, "Oh, Diana, no." You know, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I like being alive. It may well be my favorite thing, but I totally recognize the reality of I would have been in no position to even realize that I was being aborted, much less object. It's like, yeah, there was potential there, but they're like, it doesn't matter. Potential is potential. If it's cut off, it's cut off. It's not like you're going around just murdering babies in their cribs.
And this
I
whole
mean,
potential.
because that's what they always picture in their heads is, oh, this cute cooing little baby, oh, and it has nothing to do with the like ugly little fetus that's
Yeah.
about that big that's being aborted.
And another thing these people don't consider, and well, maybe they do and just ignore it, is that the whole potential thing is a chain. There is the potential to have a potential, to have a potential, to have a potential. And, where does that chain stop on a link that could actually result in something?
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yes. I'll tell you sometimes, Robert. Okay, none of you guys want to hear this, but sometimes I get the realization that the only reason I'm alive right now is that I'm chicken.
Mm.
And where did dinner fowl ever become associated with cowardice?
It's probably like a running around with your head cut off kind of thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea why that's. But then again, I'm not entirely certain how, say, pussy or beaver became vagina.
Mm.
It doesn't make any sense, really, when you think about it. I mean, aside from the fact that there's hair involved, where's the connection?
We need William Sapphire. That's what we need.
Okay,
I
know
have
that, but for the life of me, I can't recall.
one of his books. I forget the title of it. But the origins of many common words. Where did this shit come from? And it's a great read. It really is. Just wish I could remember the title offhand. I just gonna look.
I really don't remember who he is.
I'm trying to remember who he wrote for.
No, I mean, like, why he's significant in any way. I'm looking here on Wikipedia. It seems like he was some sort of news pundit.
Yeah. Okay. American author, columnist, journalist, presidential speechwriter. So who the hell did he write for?
I don't know. That's not the part I cared about. I just wanted to know why he was a name. But it looks like New York Times.
Okay.
And apparently he was on Meet the Press a lot.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm actually quite irritated with the New York Times right now and the Washington Post because they have put just about everything behind a paywall now.
Well, yeah, Washington Post has been behind a paywall for years. Um, that's why I have a subscription to them, basically. I mean, I actually read the Washington Post. Um,
Well, I don't know.
but
Usually I run across a specific article I want to see and I don't want to pay for everything because I just want to see that article.
could always give you my username and
Nah,
password.
don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's not that important. But I mean, it's still frustrating, you know. I mean, yeah, okay, I use an ad blocker so I don't have to see your stupid advertisements if I don't want them. But, there are so many like articles and websites with articles that are completely free. So, get that stick out of your butts.
Indeed.
I mean,
Okay.
well, if I can watch the Super Bowl free of charge, I can read the fucking New York Times free of charge.
And I would think that it would be desirable to offer, say, the New York Times or the Washington Post free of charge. I mean, let the ads be on there and everything else. It's one after another. I keep unblocking the ads on news sites anyway. So,
Well, here's a weird question.
mm,
Uh, do you think that physical print media is dead?
I hope not.
Why?
I like to refer to the physical medium. I like to hold the book in my hands, put a bookmark in the pages, and then open it up really quickly. It's uh, remember now that I am accustomed to reading books, and it takes work for me to read a web page.
Well, I'm not even necessarily talking about a web page, though. I mean, like, take for example, I like using my Kindle far more than I ever enjoy turning the pages on a piece of wood pulp.
Okay, okay.
Just
Um,
because, if I drop it, I don't lose my place. And I can carry around an entire friggin' library with me wherever I go if I want to.
that is an advantage.
And I mean, honestly, when I hear about people talking about how they like holding the book in their hands, they like the smell of it and this, that, and the other thing, and I'm like, so really, you're not reading a book as much as feeling it.
You do have a point. Yes, you do.
It's like when people bitch about vinyl being so much better than digital, and I'm like, really?
No,
All the
no.
hisses and pops and crackles and snaps
I know
on a record.
it wears out after 10 plays or something like that, whereas the digital will not.
Mm,
I found the book that I was thinking of. It's called Coming to Terms. Um, it's great stuff on etymology,
I think that uh, Bill Clinton came during 2 terms, but
pretty much.
well, that's a
Um,
yeah,
he'll be over there, right?
thing.
The other thing, though, with me is a lot of the books I have are simply not available on Kindle.
And that is a complaint I do have, yes.
I mean, a lot of the old textbooks I have, you just can't get on Kindle. Or the books I have that are 50 years old, literally, um, it's hard to find them in digital.
Although I have found some books that are literally at least 100 years old, I'm pretty sure, that you can totally get on Kindle, like War of the Worlds,
Oh,
H.G. Wells'
sure,
War of the
yes,
Worlds.
yes, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is you're more likely to find fiction on Kindle than you are any kind of reference manual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that the book Compiler Construction for Digital Computers, um, printed in 1967, is probably not widely available on Kindle.
Hmm.
but it's a great book. It really is.
I,
I like that
I
kind of
will
stuff.
I will say this, that I sort of break from what I just said in very specific circumstances, because reading a comic book on a Kindle starts becoming a chore, because you have to constantly zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out to scroll around it with any kind of accuracy and see what you're reading.
Okay.
So, I mean, that becomes a pain in the ass, and that's when I prefer paper. But if I'm just reading literally text and that's all it is, give me something digital. Give me something handheld that's digital, because it's just, I mean, okay, the number of times when I've been reading a book for hours, and I did this as a teenager. I would just lie on the couch, have two cats lying on me, and I'm reading for literally hours.
Meow.
After all, my hand holding the book open starts to hurt. I mean, it
Mm,
starts to really fucking hurt to hold that book open.
okay
So,
then. Yeah.
I mean, hardcover books aren't as bad because they tend to stay open, but paperbacks, forget about it.
Oh
You have to
man,
make an effort to hold it open.
who can afford a
Mm,
hardcover anymore?
Well, I mean, but I've got some really good. I've got a leather-bound special edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series.
Nice.
mm.
Yeah, so I mean, there's advantages, but eh.
Okay,
I
Colleen likes to follow along in books to the
Yeah,
audiobooks. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I can't do audiobooks for the same reason I can't do like a tutorial for the new software I have if it's in video form,
Oh
because
my.
it doesn't come at me at my pace. And what if the author, or rather the performer, or whoever it is doing the audiobook, pronounces a fictional character's name differently? I mean, I think we had the
Mhm.
argument, well, not argument,
Right.
discussion about Belgarath versus Belgarath and all of
Mm,
that
Yeah.
stuff.
okay.
I mean, and the whole Harry Potter thing, where the first time I heard them say Patronus, I was like, "What? No, that's a Patronus," and stuff like that. And so, for those two reasons, I would find an audiobook really difficult.
Well, the other problem,
Mhm.
especially with the YouTube tutorials on, this or that or how to do this, out of 10,000 um YouTube tutorial makers, 9,999 of them don't know the first fucking thing about making a tutorial video.
Oh gosh, yes. The sheer number of times they're like going at a snail's pace, and all it is their mouse on screen, and they're not really describing what they're doing in any kind of reasonable detail. And sometimes they'll go over things that are just so freaking like, I know this already, I've known this for years, get to the part that matters.
Yeah, so pedantic.
They're not so much how-to videos as they are stream of consciousness videos.
Yeah, I mean, all
Pedantic.
the stuff I come across is they're not explaining anything. That you just see the pointer moving. Okay, you do this thing over here, and then they don't tell you what they're doing. They're just doing it, and
Mm.
then you do this thing over
Oh,
here, and it's like, come on!
I may have bitched before about this one guy at game night, where when he's describing how to play the game, he just says, "Okay, if you do this, it results in that," but he doesn't tell you why you want to do it. Like,
Well,
he
there's
doesn't
the other thing,
start
yeah.
with the premise of the game. He doesn't start with the
Mhm.
win conditions. When I'm trying to explain to people how to play, say for example, Clank in space, I will start by telling them, "Okay, we are thieves on a spaceship trying to steal the bad guy's treasure, because he is a bad guy, and then get out alive. That's the premise of the game. And now
Mhm.
here's how you move around his ship with these cards that do movement. Here's how you fight the bad guys with these cards that have fighting ability. This is how you get new cards with these that have value." And so people have the context to know, okay, I want those cards because it'll help me accomplish the goal that has already been described to me. But this guy, no, no, no. He goes, "Okay, if you want to fight a guy, you do this." "Okay, why do I want to fight a guy?" "I'll get to that." "No, you won't." I
And it
mean,
never
maybe you'll
does.
say it, but by the time you've told me why I want to fight a guy, I've forgotten how to do it because I didn't have the context to hang it on when you explained how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, how should come after why.
and then the other one is especially in one-on-one tutorial interactions. The person has to explain this thing the way a oral historian would. If you saw the Roots television series where you had you know, you can't ask the guy to start here at this point. He's got to start from the beginning and go all the way through. So you get all this extraneous stuff.
Hi, Greg.
When all you're trying to do is figure out how to put this little widget on the page, so, okay, I know most of this stuff already. Just, lead into, okay, do you have this? Yes. Okay, so now from there you go here. And it's like, no. Ah!
Well, and I mean, again, there's a different guy who doesn't go to game night anymore, thankfully, where if I forget what a symbol on a card means in a new game, and I'm like, what does this symbol mean? And I just want him to say, oh, it's fire instead of ice. It gives you the fire ability. No. I instead of telling me, oh yeah, it means that, he goes, it means that. And this is how you use it, explained all over again. I'm like, I don't need the manual again. I just wanted to remember what the symbol meant. That's all. I know even how to use the ability. It's just there's so many symbols. This game was a complete information dump, and I'm trying to remember it all. Just tell me what the symbol means. If I don't remember how to use it, I'll ask that next.
Mm-hmm.
But no. And I'm like I've wanted to say to him, I admire your enthusiasm, but please, just the facts, ma'am.
What movie is that from?
I don't even remember.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go eat, and then I'm going to go play a game. I don't know what game
I'm
yet.
just gonna read at this point.
I want to play a game.
See you guys. Or
I'll
do you
take-
need me to stay here because of the whole thing?
No.
Well, no, if Mom NATO's taken off, no, we're going to do this off the air one day. We'll get around to it. It'll be done.
And
Yeah.
yes, I know I need a filter, but it's hard to have one.
I know I need a filter, and I got one. So,
So,
Well,
See ya.
just send me a message when you have a free moment of time to chat, Diana.
okay, that sounds like fun. And then,
Yeah.
as far as that goes, always remember up front at the tobacco end, the flavor comes from filter blend.
Yes.
So that's where
exactly.
your filters come in.
Yes.
that must be a really old jingle.
It is.
Yes. Very
It's a
old.
Winston commercial from maybe about 1964.
They played it for a long time.
Anyway, see you guys.
Take care,
Bye.
sweetie.
So, I will see you later, Diana. Just send me a message when you have time to chat.
Is that a threat?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a promise too.
Well, really, what's
See
the
you
difference?
guys. Yeah, really. See you.
Take
Have
care,
fun.
sweetness.
Bye bye.
Boy, boy.
Yeah, I'm weirdly tired. It's weird because I slept really well for once, except I'm tired now after being up for a couple of hours.
Well, same here, actually. And I was thinking maybe, if we kept it a little shorter than 8 hours, that might not be a bad idea. Because I
That
did
could be handy.
I did get some sleep last night, but not very much and not very good.
One thing that kind of creeped me out, actually, when I woke up, I don't remember turning on my air conditioner, but when I woke up, it was on.
Huh.
And I wouldn't have turned it on because A, it's not that hot here.
I was going to say.
Not right now. And yeah, I left my fan on, but I'm pretty sure I never turned on that air conditioner, and I don't know what happened, but it's unplugged now. So if it happens again, someone's sneaking into my place at night, or I'm sleepwalking.
Well, it's not me. Just letting you know. But there's
But I don't know what's up with that. So
There's the other thing that's going on over here anyway is okay, I know I'm old. The temperature control is set to 70 degrees. It is 70 degrees in here, and I'm still cold. It
I've
didn't.
had that sort of thing happen, but I'm really convinced I'm a lizard or something because I don't heat myself. I don't generate my own heat.
Okay, I used to be really good with cooler temperatures. Uh, I mean, it was one time when the guys at uni came into my dorm room, hung a toe tag on me because it was the middle of winter and I'm sleeping no blanket with the window open because that's how I was comfortable, that cold. You know, it was maybe, 45 degrees in the room and I'm fine. Um, and it,
TV tube, I don't have an attic. Anyway, go on.
yeah, and where the heck was I? Okay, we had that stuff going on. And yeah, it's like I say, the whole temperature thing. Why is it? Am I the only one that feels this, or do other people feel this? 70 degrees in here is cold. Out there, it's warmer. The same 70 degrees. Is it because the sun is shining on me and I'm getting that? Or,
Probably. I mean, goodness knows that there are times it's pretty warm out, but because my condo complex has a lot of stuff blocking the sun, it's bloody freezing in the courtyard. But when you leave, it's like roasting.
okay, then. It's something I've got to work on. And of course, around here, we're coming to that time of year. There are two times of year I absolutely hate. One of them is early spring, and another is mid autumn, where you don't know what to wear when you go out. You first go out, you need that jacket, right? And then an hour or two later, it's, boiling hot, and you're carrying this jacket around because it's too hot to wear. And it's like, God, man, I don't know. Maybe I need a spacesuit with my portable air conditioner and the little thing.
Okay, I'm seeing something here on Facebook because I'm browsing a little.
I didn't do it.
That I think is wrong. Now, granted, there's a bunch of comments I haven't read yet, but it says here, I've thought about letting my daughter join Girl Scouts. I know it's a partly a religious organization. Does anyone have experience with Scouts? I'm pretty sure Girl Scouts aren't religious. I thought that was just the Boy Scouts.
I was going to say I'm reasonably sure that Girl Scouts are not religious. To my recollection, haven't they been allowing atheists in for years the way the Boy Scouts were totally opposing them?
Well, I'm seeing something here. And like one of the commenters says, I was a Girl Scout and my daughter is a Girl Scout now. No religion. There's a reference to God in the Girl Scout promise, but the Girl Scout policy is that girls can skip it or substitute whatever they want. And someone else replied with a picture of what I can only assume is something from a Girl Scout website. It says here, everything in Girl Scouting is based on the Girl Scout promise and law, which includes many of the principles and values common to most faiths. So while we're a secular organization, Girl Scouts has encouraged girls to take spiritual journeys via their faith's religious recognition since we were founded in 1912. So it sounds like we're not, but we are. Or we are, but we're not.
Okay.
Like, I remember when, what was it? Wow, total brain cramp all of a sudden. Right. When I was dating Flea, one of the two addicts I dated, I thought about trying to go to one of those groups where it's like for support with people who are living with addicts, like the victims of addicts. And it was basically one of those 12-step programs, and they said that that whole give yourself up to God as you understand him. And I kept telling them, I'm like, I am a rabid and screaming atheist. I don't believe in any sort of God. And they were like, well, okay, but God. And I was like, yeah, but atheist, and I never went back after the first meeting. Plus a
Yeah.
lot of it was people who had been in these long-term abusive relationships, where I had been dating Flea for a couple of months. If I wanted out, I could get out. Whereas these people were like, oh, my mom's a, fall down drunk, and she used to beat us and spend all her money. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to be part of this.
Okay, then.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
'cause
God,
honestly,
how you doing? God's
as
here.
much as the relationship I had with Flea was fraught, let's say, she was never abusive. Not in, like, I've read about what an abusive relationship is like, and that was never her. She was erratic and dangerous, but not abusive.
Okay.
Sorry, someone
It's a little bit this, a little bit that. Go for me, go for you. What am I talking about? I have no idea.
sorry, I'm dealing with the whole snubbed thing again, so hold on.
I don't understand these people. I do not understand. Okay, look, I'm biased, I know, but still,
Yeah.
why? I don't get it. As I said before, you're a cornerstone. Damn.
Well, I mean, I someone asked me, did you contact them? And I was like, I told them last year at Faithless Forum that I wanted to be on a panel next year, but I'm just invisible, apparently, to the YouTube atheist community. I've felt for years like I don't matter. And clearly I don't. So.
Oh, Colleen, why'd you pull that?
What did it say?
It said she wonders what it would be like to talk to God if God existed.
Depends on which God, I'm sure. But if we're talking about the Abrahamic God, I'm sure it would happen, if it did at all, in a way where we couldn't tell the difference between it and our imagination.
There you go.
I mean, the legends in their books claim he'll speak with a booming voice from the sky, but has anyone ever had that experience in a modern age? Post Bronze Age? I don't think so.
It would be really interesting, though. God, now you have me thinking. I'm gonna have to write something again. What if you drop dead and you find out reliably that you continue to exist, and you meet this character, and the character says, "Oh, hi, I'm the Abrahamic God. How you doing? You want a sandwich?" And you're sitting and talking to this character just like any other nice guy, and the character is nothing at all the way it's described in the book.
I have had that thought too, where we're like, what if God exists and looks at the Bible and goes, wow, you guys got this so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like there's lots of stories about that kind of thing where people believe this, that, and the other thing about historical events that aren't even close to true, just because it's the story you were always told.
Yeah.
Actually, like some of my favorites are about board games and card games, actually. Because, like Monopoly, no one's ever read the rules to Monopoly. You're just told how to play it by people who've played it before.
Pretty
and there's
much.
a bunch of rules. Like, if you actually read that instruction manual, there are a bunch of rules we ignore and a bunch we've made up.
Mm-hmm.
The like money under free parking, that's not in the rules anywhere. That's a house rule.
Right.
And the whole auction system, where if you land on an unowned property, it's auctioned off through the bank. Well, that's in the manual, but I've never seen anyone play it that way. Apparently the people who own Uno came out and said, no, you cannot stack draw twos. Like if someone throws a draw two at you and you have a draw 2 and you don't want to draw 2, you can't put another draw 2 on top of that and make the next person draw 4. That's not a rule. You have to draw 2 and your turn is over when that happens. But I know so many people who play that you can stack draw 2s and draw 4s and all of those to make other people draw more cards, but it's not in the rules. And if people can do that with freaking games, imagine what they've done to history.
Well, yeah, Texas. Really? I mean, the human capacity to do that shit is just amazing. Just make up entire new worlds around some barest thread, and yeah, there we go. No, I do not believe in any god at all, Colleen. As a matter of fact, I will go so far as to effectively be a Gnostic atheist. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know that at least in this universe, there is no God. There might be one outside the universe, but there might as well not be, because we'll never get to it.
Well, okay, I have to dispute this a little bit because I know of at least one god.
Okay.
It helps to look at your screen.
Okay, then. Yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, he's a bearded man who created a galaxy. There's a father, a son, and a ghost. Good versus evil. George Lucas is clearly the Christian God.
There you go.
I mean, you know, that's hard to deny right there.
Yeah, indeed.
But that's the only God I'm willing to even suspect exists is George Lucas.
And the other thing that amazes the shit out of me is I've been in conversations with so many people, and the topic turns to the whole spirituality thing and everything else. And I'll say, "Oh, I'm an atheist," and the answer, the reply I'll get is, "No, you're not." I know what I am. Really, I do.
Oh man, the sheer number of times people are like, well, everyone really believes in God. You just
please.
denied him in your heart and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, the way I like to put it is that there are people out there who think that everybody in the world has a God-shaped hole in their heart somewhere that needs to be filled with something. And if they don't adopt a religion, then they'll fill it with their entertainment or their sporting events or whatever, that has become your God. And it's like, it gets to a point where clearly they just want to use the word God somewhere for something. You know, it's like if you're devoted to anything, a hobby can be your God because you're that devoted to it. And it's like, you guys really just want to smuggle religion into everything. And I realize in your world, religion encompasses your entire life, that it dictates everything for you. But not everyone's the same way. Not everyone looks at religion and goes, well, my life clearly needs this. It just doesn't work that way. But try telling some people that, and they don't even understand it. It breaks their brain so hard that you don't need that dedication in your life.
And then there were the AIG sycophants who tell me, well, you worship yourself. And there ain't that much to worship over here, Jack. So, no, I don't.
Well, I mean, and that's another thing is like the number of people who go, well, if you learned that God was real, would you worship him? Would you follow him? And when you say no, they go, oh, well, you just don't want to believe in him. I'm like, bitch, I never said anything about believing. I never said anything about believing. If you prove to me that God is real beyond any reasonable doubt, sure, I'll believe in him. But following is an entirely separate issue. But that doesn't compute for them.
Yeah. I mean, look, Jack, your God is a total dick. Why would I want to worship that?
But you try to explain the atrocities their God has done, and they won't even address it. They'll find some way to change the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, Isn't that just a smidge on the dishonest side?
I mean, really, where are the Amalekites? Whatever happened to the Hittites? That's that sort of thing. I think Hitchens did that before I did. And then there are the other things. You get into one of these abortion arguments, and you read Numbers 5 to them, and it doesn't say that. And you read it again, it doesn't say that. And it's like they're screaming at the end. It doesn't say that. Yes, it does.
And then like there's the whole thing of they spent 40 years wandering in the desert, and then someone posts the like the map quest thing, like a 5-day walk or some shit.
Yeah, I think it takes 2 weeks. Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. It says 129 hours to walk that way. And I'm like, so did Moses have an inner ear thing where he kept losing the direction or something? I mean, it's bizarre. Never mind that we find no archaeological evidence of Jews in Egypt at that time in history at all. But
yeah,
I mean,
and there's the other one, and they refuse to accept. Finkelstein and Zilberman went digging, trying to find this. They were funded by the Israeli government, if I remember correctly. They were told, go find us this stuff. We know it happened, so just document it, and we'll be all happy. And they had to come back and say, excuse me, there ain't nothing out there. These are two of the most respected archaeologists of the area saying this, so you're going to pay some attention to it. No.
Well, I'm still waiting for the flat earthers to start one of those expeditions to find the end of the earth, to prove that it's a disc.
Yeah, there you go.
I really want them to do that and then come back empty-handed.
Oh, there's always a reason they can't.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I don't know. Well, so many of them know that they're full of shit. The guy Jeranism, he's already admitted he's just in it for the money.
I don't know. I'm sorely tempted to start some goofy series where it's like, yeah, the Earth isn't like a sphere; it's actually a torus. That kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, okay, because just to fuck with them.
Well, this reminds me of Sir Bedivere. And this is how we know the Earth to be banana shaped.
Right. Well, there's a Bloom County comic where someone's arguing against evolution, and the guy goes, "Evolution is false. Also, the Earth isn't round; it's shaped like a giant burrito."
Now you're making me hungry for a burrito.
Actually, I could go for a burrito my own darn self. The Diablo burrito I've talked about, and they're finally back. They finally reopened the restaurant. But
now the question is, are there any good frozen burritos out there?
I believe I've had a decent microwave burrito, yes. But I could not tell you the brand of it.
Darn it. Because, I would love to make the burrito myself, but I just don't have the inclination to do so. It's... And, oh my word, I love it, because this is right out of Inherit the Wind.
I know that title, but...
If I remember correctly, that's the title of the Scopes Trial film.
Oh, the monkey trial. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like an odd thing to call it.
It's what is it? Oh God, what is his name? I can see him. We didn't descend. We descended from old world monkeys. We didn't even descend from good old American monkeys.
Did he seriously say that?
Yes, that was a line from the film.
Well, wasn't there a guy, his name was a Reverend Wildman or some shit? David Wildman. Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's. I think that was the guy with the monkey trial. If it wasn't, though, he was he was that guy. Let's see. Okay. Oh, he's one of the persecution dudes. Like, I'm looking at this quote. He goes, "Would movie moguls release a film portraying Adolf Hitler as a great benefactor of the Jews? Hardly. Would they release a movie if the black community found it to be highly disparaging? No way. You better believe these executives would also think long and hard before they released a movie offensive to American Indians, Muslims, homosexuals, or virtually any affinity group. Yet, to most movie industries, a film which offends millions of Christians is fine and dandy."
Okay, then.
But of course, if it's offensive to Christians, it usually means that we disagreed with them. If it's offensive to the other guys, we're saying they're horrible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it was Frederick March that I was thinking of as Matthew Harrison Brady, who was patterned after William Jennings Bryan.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I could have sworn the like Wildman dude was oh geez, did I mistype it again? I'm pretty sure he was involved in something regarding evolution. I'm seeing something here about the Campaign for Decency, whatever the frig that is. Throughout the late 1970s, Wildman actively protested television series he thought promoted immoral lifestyles. He spoke against such programs as Three's Company, MASH, and Dallas.
Jeez.
I can see Three's Company and MASH, but what was wrong with Dallas? I never watched it.
Well, that was one of those evening soap operas.
Yeah, but all I remember is Who Shot JR. But here we go. Other productions and organizations against which he has campaigned include Disneyland and Disney World for not actively preventing LGBT community groups from hosting gay days at the park, The Last Temptation of Christ, Madonna's Like a Prayer video, Blockbuster Video for stalking NC-17 rated movies, Howard Stern for discussing sexual topics on the radio, Mighty Mouse, The New Adventures for allegedly showing the title character snorting cocaine.
What?
Okay, I don't know. And Walmart for stalking the Walt Disney Cartoon Classics VHS entitled Fun on the Job for containing a scene in the short Clock Cleaners where Donald Duck allegedly uses inappropriate language. So basically, this guy wants you to experience nothing unless it's through his filter. Like never mind that he could just turn off the TV like Coach Dave Daubenmire with the halftime show. But you've heard about that, right?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Then you aren't watching my videos, because there's that one dude, the Christian dude, who flipped out because of the football halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh! I just wasn't making sense of the name. That's all.
Yeah, no, he lost it because apparently he had to watch it. He wasn't able to change the channel or turn off the TV. No, his world ended up including something he doesn't like. Never mind if other people are the target audience. Never mind if other people do like it. No, he's offended because it did not promote Christian values, his values.
Okay, look at it this way, guy. I do not like at all that whole God bless America bullshit during the 7th inning stretch. What do? I turn the radio down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they sang like God Save America or some fucking religious, maybe it was America the Beautiful. I don't know, it was one of the patriotic songs that references God out the ass, right? They sang that at the beginning of the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, and I turned the sound down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just endured it and gnashed my teeth, but no part of me would be like, no, I have to protest. I have to make sure that never happens because darn it, I disagree. No, I didn't do that. The only things I do with that are William Shatner and Quebec. those should not exist because I find them quite offensive. But other than that,
I'm kind of surprised though, and of course this is just me being a dick. Um, the When I'm at the game, when I'm at PNC Park, and they do that whole national anthem thing, I take a knee.
hmm,
I'm amazed I haven't been thrown out yet, but oh well, what are you gonna do?
hmm. And I mean, there are so many little quirks and affectations of the culture that honestly I don't really understand. Like, what is putting your hand over your heart supposed to do?
No
You know,
idea. No idea.
what is raising your right hand and putting your other hand on a Bible supposed to do?
Oh,
You
oh,
know,
oh.
and
That.
I mean, or Patton Oswalt had a routine where he's like, is cursive writing magical? Because you're signing a little document, and there's that thing that says print your name, and then sign your name, and it's not complete until you take the writing your name and make the letters go woo, and it's like, yeah, I mean, cursive writing doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you have to sign your name in cursive, or it's not signing your name?
Yeah,
It's
I know.
garden. So I mean,
Um.
there's lots of little quirks like that. Like, I remember hearing the origin of saluting was actually knights lifting up the visor on their helmet. That's like what they had to do to raise it, and that's why it's a salute
Oh, there's
now that we do
Servedivir
this.
again.
And well, I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, there's so many little things like that where I'm like, we do these so automatically without thinking about them. And when you think about them, they start to seem nonsensical. They start to seem so random and bizarre.
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, that whole right hand and the Bible and everything else, I believe that came from tradition in Rome, where okay, what is it now? You raised one hand, and with the other hand, you grabbed your nuts.
What?
That's where the word testimony comes from.
Oy vey.
From
But what was
testes.
but what was that supposed to do?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. Oh, I know. To prevent someone from kicking you there when you were telling a lie. I don't know what the fuck it was, but
Well,
yeah.
like the one that I really enjoyed describing, when like trying to describe it objectively, is applause, because I was like, okay, so for the purposes of celebration or congratulation, I will repeatedly bash my forepaws together in order to make sound, and somehow this signifies my appreciation. When you
But
really think about it, applause is bizarre.
but not everywhere. I don't know if it's still done in Germany, but I know at one time the applause was wrapping your knuckles on the available flat surface.
It's not any better. It's still weird.
One of those things.
I remember like hearing about it because I was never there for it when beatnik culture was totally a thing. Instead of applauding when someone would do their poetry, they would snap their fingers instead.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, when you really think about it, people try to deny that humans are apes, but there isn't much difference between beating your chest and beating your hands.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
I mean, we might as well turn around, display our plumage, and shout ook.
Thank you for reminding me. I have started the reply to SJ. I'll have to finish it. When she was going on about why do atheists attempt to equate humans and apes? It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck
Oh,
you.
her. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I understand finding it unflattering, but at the same time, that doesn't give you license to deny reality just because it humbles you a little. Especially since, like, Christians are always saying, oh, you have to be humble before God. Well, what's more humble than admitting that you're a friggin' ape?
Yeah, I know. And besides, there are apes I would rather hang out with than some people I know.
Mm.
Um,
one thing that struck me as weirdly unconscious racism. You remember recently going around the internet was that picture of an ape that had whatever skin condition I cannot
Oh,
for the life
yeah,
of
yeah,
me remember.
yeah. Where some of the skin
Yeah,
was not pigmented. Yeah.
right, exactly. And people kept going, "Oh my gosh, it looks so human." And I'm like, "Okay,
What did
so it
you
looks human to
expect?
you. It looks human to you when it looks Caucasian."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm just saying, if it was just lighter skin and looked more like a an African American or whatever, would they have had the same reaction? I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
It's
saying.
I mean, even Carl Lind could
Whoever that
not
is,
say again.
whoever that is.
Carolus Linnaeus.
Oh,
In a
okay, whoever that is.
taxonomy,
I
the binomial names,
I have
genus and
no idea
species.
who this is.
Oh, okay. 18th century naturalist. He basically invented taxonomy. Even he challenged the scientific community, if you want to call it that, of the day. Show me how to distinguish between apes and humans because I don't know how.
Hmm. I mean, all of the differences seem largely to be
Cultural?
aesthetic. Well, I was going to say aesthetic, and also, I guess in terms of intelligence, though that's debatable.
Right, right. Um, I mean, those guys, those chimps are pretty damn smart, really. And then, I mean, think of examples like Coco, the gorilla, who was pretty fluent in sign language. I mean, and who came up with ideas of her own, and it was not trained to parrot anything. Um, I like it. Robert says the only difference when some people would beat their chest, they would knock themselves out.
I must be missing something. Well, I don't get it.
I don't either, but
If you beat your chest, you knock yourself out? I must be missing something. I mean, unless you're saying that nipple pain will make you pass out. I
no
don't know.
thank you, no thank you. I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, I'm very confused by that statement there. It just seems like I'm missing some context or something.
Oh my. Well, Robert's from another culture, so maybe that's it.
Yeah. So
Pile on Clarion. Yeah. Anyway.
So it just turned noon, and so I don't know how much longer I'm going to last because I will get hungry before much longer.
Okay. Yeah, that's easily acceptable. Cause yeah, that too. I'm gonna have to look at the temperature out there. Why don't I look at the temperature and see?
Temperator?
Say again?
You mean the temperator?
Yes. Let's see now. www.weather dot. And as soon as it shows the current, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Not bad. Excuse me. So after this, yeah, I just may go over to the Squall Mart and I may look up some frozen burritos for fuck's sake. See what you did?
I don't know. Now I'm just picturing, like, I'm sure you haven't watched Invader Zim, but I'm just picturing Gurr going, burrito! And,
Oh my.
I don't know.
Oh my. Because, yeah, I haven't had any of that stuff. Or, I mean, even a tamale would do,
I've never had a tamale.
If I remember correctly, they're kind of tiny burritos that have been pickled. Wait a minute, let me look that up.
I thought they were sausages.
Okay, that could easily be. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, here we go. A tamale is a traditional Mesoamerican dish made from modern day Mexico. Oh, from modern day Mexico. There we go. Made of masa or dough, which is steamed in a corn husk or banana leaf. The wrapping can either be discarded prior to eating or used as a plate. This is from the font of all knowledge. Okay, so we have a picture over here, wrapped and unwrapped tamales from Oaxaca, I guess, filled with
Oaxaca. Pronounced
Oaxaca. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're closer to the source, so yeah, you're.
Well, no, it's not that. My parents live there half the year now.
Oh, okay. Filled
Yeah.
with mole negro and chicken. So okay, yeah. So the tamale is the whole thing, and then it's filled with something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this cat. Can you fill a tamale with cat?
Probably, but that's not the way I like to eat pussy. Yeah.
You is a kitty. That is what is you is. Oh man. Yeah, I just gotta get. Yeah, that's. Thank you. The other thing I've got to do is go shopping for ingredients. That's perfect. I like it.
I thought so too. I don't know. I have ingredients here. I could make real food if I wanted to. I don't know.
But the other thing is, I'm definitely gonna want to maybe today buy some ingredients. I'm going to be making punchki.
What now?
Okay, these are a Polish recipe. Picture a jelly donut. That's what punchki look like. The dough used to make them is a richer dough than you get from Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
More eggs and more butter and all that other happy stuff. It's one of those pre-Lenten foods where you're eating up all the lard and the butter and the sugar and all that stuff.
See, now I want a donut.
Oh no. See what I did?
And there's are they still called Dunkin' Donuts, or have they just shortened it to Dunkin' now?
I believe they shortened it to Dunkin'. Yeah.
That's so stupid. But
I
there's
know.
one not too far away. Like I could walk there in just a couple of minutes, and I'm tempted. They actually the new Dunkin' Donuts that's there now is in the same place that the Mexican restaurant used to be.
Ah.
The one that I like to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I could totally get a donut and then get a burrito.
How about a donut burrito?
No.
No. Okay.
Although, actually, another thing I wouldn't mind having, and I'm trying to remember if I've got the name right. Let me see. Humbao, I think is what I'm thinking of. Yes, humbao. It's those. They're like, it's like a biscuit with meat inside. And it's actually pretty good. It's I'm pretty sure it's Chinese, but I'm not sure. Here, let me present now a winder.
A winder?
And there.
Ooh, that looks tasty.
It is tasty, and I kind of am in the mood for one.
What's in that one? Can you tell?
Well, it looks like beef, but I don't know. I didn't. I just pulled up the picture. I can look though. Let's see. It's an ingredient, but oh well, no, fuck that shit. It's vegan.
Ah.
Yeah. But no, apparently they're pork buns.
Oh, okay. Oh, and I found a recipe there for, which may or may not be traditional or anything. Oh, this is interesting.
And it Looks like they used the char siu sauce that I was using for the pork fried rice I was making.
Okay, because yeah, what do
Oh,
we have here?
and I
We
did try that with chicken, and it's actually pretty good on chicken as well.
oh my.
Thing
Okay.
is, I can't seem to get it to, um, like to marinate properly. Like with pork fried rice that you get at the restaurant, that red stuff is sunk into the pork. I can only get it to basically rest on the surface.
What could one do to the pork to get it to absorb the sauce? I'm thinking. Pound the shit out of it with one of those mallets? And the one that has all the points on the surface. Yeah, I'm looking here. We have half a pound boneless pork loin roast, and then I put one of those stupid windows on there. Half cup barbecue sauce. Okay. 3 tablespoons shallots chopped. Third cup chicken broth. Tablespoon dark soy sauce. Tablespoon vegetable oil. Tablespoon white sugar. 1 recipe Chinese steamed buns. Well, okay, a little further into looking at that stuff that I'd have to go, but okay. Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry, I'm responding to something that kind of needs a response now-ish.
Is someone wrong on the internet?
No, not exactly.
I has to look and see.
Anyway, sorry. It was about a, how I like to do the game night on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
There was like an attempt to make it happen on Sundays too. It sort of fizzled out because people kept canceling. And
Okay.
I had to suggest a possible way to make it less fizzle potential. So anyway,
Okay, then. I'm
but
looking.
I really should get some food. I'm hungry, and
I'm looking at this El Monterey Burritos bean and cheese authentic Mexican recipe. Well, that's frozen burritos 8-count bag for $3.42. It's not all that bad, really.
Right.
I may
So-
actually do that.
Anyway, I'll see you later. I need the lunch.
Okay, hon. Well, you be good. You take care, and loved having you, and stuff and things, and yay, many much yay.
Indeed. I will catch you probably Tuesday.
Oh, yay.
Laters.
Take care. Okay, then, and let's see if we can. Yeah, okay. There's that and that. I'll just go to camera 1 here. Actually, I can go to here. I'll go to camera 1. How's that sound? And yeah, it's been a pretty darn good Sunday, really. I think. Keep those fingers crossed. We may actually have this thing working for once. It took setting up a triple boot system, whereas I had one Linux operating system and one Windows operating system on this machine. Now I have one Windows and 2 Linux operating systems. And the live streaming has an operating system all of its very own. And this might actually be helping. That would really be nice if it was indeed helping. And I don't know, maybe finding the new drivers helped as well. One never knows. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope that we've got the good stuff coming for you guys well into the future. And yeah, one of these days, I have to find some good topics and get back on this thing, because I had sent out some invitations for guests for Coffee with Lavender, and I hadn't received any words back. But of course, I had put out the invitations right around the winter holiday season, so that might have figured into things as well. So maybe if I kind of start, tapping people on the shoulder and wait a minute. Amiga Nuts says, which ones? I lost track of what? Which? Food topics. Oh my. Well, food topics, that'll be for the transgendered chef. Yeah, and I am definitely going to do something about that. Ash Wednesday's coming up, let me think, in about 10 days. So the Polish pre-Lenten thing, you know how the French-speaking folks have Mardi Gras? Okay. I have one Windows and two Ubuntu 16.04 systems on this machine. And it seems to be working okay. Yeah, where am I here? Oh, yeah, the whole Ash Wednesday thing. The Polish have Tłusty Czwartek, which is basically Fat Thursday. It's the Thursday before Lent. And then this is more or less the same sort of thing, without as Mardi Gras, without all the beads and boobs. Yeah, you have all the recipes where you eat up all the butter and the sugar and everything. Oh my, baked rice. That sounds interesting. Yay. I have a whole bunch more rice recipes that I want to deal with, because rice is cheap food, and that's a very good thing. And then the other thing I need to do, I haven't done this one yet, is I need to write the recipes down and put them online in my own cookbook. That is coming. I will be doing this very soon. It's just a matter of getting it done. That way you can refer to the written recipes. There was somebody who asked me a while back if I could do a mobile-friendly site. And that's something I need to learn. I need to learn how to do a website that will work on both desktops and smartphones. And it's not the easiest going so far, but we're going to get there, hopefully. And, but the panchki, which translates to donuts, by the way. They're basically a jelly donut, but as I said, there's more eggs, more butter in the dough than you get from Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that. And it's yummy and tasty. It really is. It'll kill you, but you die happy. So we'll see what we can do about that. I actually bought a deep fryer, and I know everybody's going to jump all over me with deep fry, anathema. Come on, guys. I'll do this maybe once or twice a year. It's not going to kill me. Really, it isn't. And besides, when you see me do the chicken paprikash, you're going to look at me and say, what the hell? Because when you look for chicken paprikash online, you'll see a recipe with half a cup of sour cream to an entire chicken, which is bullshit. Okay, really, it is. 2 pounds of sour cream, to a chicken. Now we're talking. Yeah. I was raised by Eastern Europeans, guys. I don't have blood in my vein. I have in my veins. I have cholesterol. I do have to shill that. We're getting there. I need to do a little bit more content before I feel comfortable doing it. And then I have to get some regularity. I know tricastoria to the output, and we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm filling my entire week, and of course with all the stuff I'm invited on and everything. God, the movie nights. I don't do movie night as regularly as I used to because, God, man, you get sleep deprived. Really. What the hell? Anyway, no, but yeah, we'll have some of that stuff coming up. I mean, hopefully I'll have the punchki on the air in time for people to make the stuff if they want to. What's really interesting here about the Polish, punchki is the plural. It is donuts. The singular, of all things, is punchek. One does not quite get where you get the plural punchki from punchek. One would think it might be pancheki or something like that. But no, punchek becomes punchki. That's the Poles for you. I am nowhere near fluent in Polish. So, I mean, my babka was teaching me Slovak when I was 2 years old, and I don't remember any of that either. Yeah, definitely brain food. I mean, really, cholesterol, what's it going to do? Kill me? I've already had a pretty good run. I mean, yeah, I know I have some small complaints, but overall, it's been a good run. So, you bring the curtain down and let another show open. That's not a bad thing, really. I mean, that's what I said since I was diagnosed with the kidney disease. Yes. Anything below 1,000 calories is considered a snack. Absolutely. It's craziness. And then, well, my babka and my Aunt Rena, always, when I would go over the house to see them, it would be, Eddie, you look thin. You need to eat. Here, eat. They could have been Jewish grandmothers for all that, But, yeah, it's, porked up was good. The whole thing about the raising the kids, you porked the kids up because that meant they were healthy. So even the FSB was shoving eggnog down my throat. And that may be one of the reasons I've always been big, but and then genetics too. And I have no idea what my genetics are like, so that's pretty much unknown. The luck of the draw, that sort of thing. So what the hell? Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, one dinner is essentially an entire day's caloric intake when you're talking about these Eastern Europeans. But yeah, be standing by because I do want to put some output out there, and a lot of the traditional dishes that I grew up with. So I mean, I've already done halushki. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Golabki. I'm trying to translate that one. That may be in the Polish, and I may know it in Slovak. There are some differences, believe it or not. Okay, yeah. I knew them as halupki when I was growing up, the cabbage rolls. And Yeah, those could easily be a snack. Um, I mean, you just take one out of the pot, put it on it, and just eat the damn thing cold. Um, and there were a couple different ways to make those. Either you stewed them in tomato sauce, or the one I really liked, and I didn't get it enough. The family didn't do it this way very often, but instead of tomato sauce, you stewed them in kapusta, sauerkraut, and then you had the brine and the whole sauerkraut thing. And God, my mouth is watering already. Oh, I loved it! I loved it! I loved it! I loved it! So yeah, if I can actually get around to doing this stuff and producing the films and everything, you're going to be seeing chicken paprikas. You're going to be seeing halupki. I've done zapraska and halushki. That is on the. Yes, absolutely. Well, the way I knew the cabbage rolls, you'd cook rice and ground beef, mix that shit together, and then roll the cabbage leaves around them. And yeah, a couple of those was a good meal, really. And this is, and when I make that stuff, I'm basically eating my childhood, or at least the good parts, and all sorts of fun, really. Okay, now I'm just going to have to get to work on it. Really. The one thing I didn't get very often that did exist, but everybody would jump all over me for it. The other thing we would have would be veal paprikash. But number one, veal's extremely expensive, and number two, it's anathema to a lot of people. So, what are you going to do? Very occasionally, I would have rabbit. And it was yummy. But okay, yay! And then the other thing is the oh Christ, the name is escaping me now. Basically, Polish ravioli. Let me see if I can find it. Why am I forgetting what it's called? Oh, pierogi. Yes. The Poles called it pierogi. The Slovaks called it pierogi. So you've got the slight difference there. But, oh my, there's no pierogi like making your own. And mine have the sour cream in the dough. Yum. Like I say, it'll kill you, but you die happy. Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. I've got a Hungarian cookbook laying around here somewhere, and I will dive into that and do all kinds of stuff like that. And, okay, there you go. Yes. Oh my. Yeah, and I really shouldn't be talking about this because I'm getting all hungry, and I am trying to lose weight. I really am. I'm almost back to the weight I was at before I quit smoking. Last I checked, I was 211. So, when I quit smoking, I was at 205. I had hit a wall. I couldn't lose any more, and then I quit smoking, and I gained 40 pounds. So, what are you going to do? But no, I'm not going to go back to smoking just to try to lose weight. No, that's not happening. But we will get there. I mean, if I can be down to, let's say 180 by the end of the year, that would be nice. I might even try for 160. I remember 160. I liked it. I liked it a whole lot. Of course, I was 22 years old at the time, so I don't know how I would take it now, 40 years later. What are you going to do? It's just the way it works. And what the hell then? But now, yeah, I'm thinking pierogi. Oh my word! Yeah, they'd be filled with just about anything you could lay your hands on. I mean, kapusta, potatoes and cheese. Let's see, prune was a favorite filling for babka. Yeah, you'd have the prunes inside the pierogi, and I'm sure there are more. So, we'd have some fun with that. And then there are more holiday foods that I haven't done yet. All the sweet pastries and everything. And the bobalki is a fun one for the winter holiday. Basically, dough balls with honey and poppy seeds. Yeah, ruin the random drug check. Oh my, oh my, oh my. But I've got 1531 hours over here. So I've been at this for a little less than 3.5 hours. Yeah, maybe it's time to let you guys go and get back to doing stuff and things and thingsel stuffs. And what am I talking about? I have no idea. I will then say, let me get this stuff ready to go over here. I'm going to thank everybody who's here. I'm going to thank everybody who is not here. I know I say it every time, and I mean it every time. I really do. I'm not handing you a line of crap or anything. This is for you. This is for you, the fans. I love doing this. I mean, it's really great to be appreciated, and that's a wonderful thing. I want to thank all the viewers, all the patrons, and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll get some clothes on. I'll go to the Squall Mart and we'll do some stuff and things. And well, thank you for being here to see it. Okay, really, Colleen, and really everybody. So okay, basically, what I think I'll then do is just say to all of you wonderful people, thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.